Hello everyone, am I audible to everybody here? Just let me, just give me a thumbs up if I'm audible to everyone. I hope I'm audible to everyone. A very good evening. All right. Great. So how's your preparation going so far? How has your preparation been, students? Hello everyone. Yeah, and I'm very sorry for being late. All right, good. I hope you all are practicing all the papers, sample papers and everything. Alright, so here we are to discuss the sample paper, the first practice paper for this year. I hope everybody is ready. No issues, don't take tension. The paper is going to be fine. And you guys are going to give your best. Alright, so shall we start? Komal Rajput, don't take tension. Definitely your exams are going to go well. There's a sort of anxiety always before the examination, but nothing of that sort happens. Yeah, practice paper is hard in comparison to sample paper because they want to test you for the best thing. They want to see that, how can you do it and whether you're able to solve this paper or not. If you're able to solve this paper, then definitely the board exam is there in your hand. That would be something you guys can crack very easily. Alright, so shall we start with today's class now? No issues. Alright then, let's start with today's paper. As you all know, the exam is going to be for 80 marks. The exam is going to be for 80 marks, where you'll have 20 marks for the reading section. Grammar will be constitute for 10 marks. Creative writing skills will be there for 20 marks. And literature, this is 2050, it accounts for almost 30 marks. I hope I have written the bifurcation of marks correctly. No, this is also 10 marks, I suppose. 5 markers for 2 writing skills. So it's going to be a very long paper, obviously, because it is English. So you guys have to give your best in the exam. Yes. Somebody is asking that yes, the paper will be of the practice level, exam level only. The exam will be this level only. Hone wala hai paper, it is going to be quite difficult this time because of what we have seen in the sample papers, the paper is quite tough. So we have to practice, 20, 10, 40, yes. But I think that, 40 marks for literature is overboard, but then it's okay. Half of the exam is from this section, which means this is very important for you. Creative writing skills will have 10 marks, 5 marks for each question. One is going to be a letter, one is going to be an analytical paragraph. 10 marks. Again, then we have grammar for 10 marks, and as I've taken the marathon, not marathon exactly, but the one shot live for grammar, and reading skills are also going to be for 10 marks. Now, before we start with the sample paper solving, there's one thing that I want to make clear to everybody here is, that this is the part that is going to be the most tricky one, because we have practiced this, and we have practiced this the most. But the only thing that we have not practiced is the reading part, right? So this is going to be that one part of your paper that you have to do it very, very carefully. So it is good to practice questions of reading skills. So what my suggestion is to everybody here is that practice at least one question a day. So this is my suggestion before we start. Practice one question a day so that you can, solve the paper easily, so that you get to know that which type of questions will be there, in your exams. And you'll get an idea that how you have to solve the passage. Also keep one more thing in mind, that you have to do time-bound practice. Now what do you mean by time-bound practice, student? Time-bound practice, which means that you have to put up a timer of 15 to 20 minutes, maximum 20 minutes, and then you have to try solving a paper in that particular time itself. I am basically, students, this channel is PW English, so I have to speak in English itself, because it's going to be the language paper. So I have to give you the all the points in English itself, because in that case you will also be able to understand that how you have to write your answers if I'm going to speak in English, and I will be telling you all the things in English itself. So let's come to the first part of the paper, the reading section, and the most trickiest section of the paper. Now what my suggestion is, for this particular section, what you guys have to do is start solving in the reading time. Start solving in reading time. Now this is my suggestion to everybody here. Now if I say reading time, that doesn't mean you have to mark the answers in the question paper. No. I'm taking unseen passage as well, students. Not a problem. So you have to start solving in reading time. Now what do you mean by reading time? What basically I mean by reading time is that you will get 15 minutes. Obviously the paper is going to be for 3 hours, 15 minutes, right? These 15 minutes could be your golden chance. Now what you have to do is, you have to read a passage. The first passage has to be read in the first 15 minutes of the examination, and you have to find out the answers to the first question in the first 15 minutes itself. Now how that will help you, students? In that way, when you're going to see all the questions, in that way you're going to, solve the first question, and your 5 marks, no, your 10 marks are secured in the first half itself. Alright, in that way you will have more time to solve the other questions rather than focusing on unseen passage. So my suggestion here is that you have to solve the unseen passage first. Alright, now we have to start solving the reading passage in the first half, that is the first 15 minutes. Now what is going to be the trick for the same? There are going to be two things, the two approaches that you can follow. Either the question first approach, or the passage first approach. Alright. Now what has to be followed and what is going to help you out? So when you have time, when you have practiced number of questions, then going with this part is better. Like the question first, read the question first, and then go with the part of solving the passage. Or the second part is, when you do not have time, then this is going to be the trick which you guys can follow, is reading the the passage first. Now how this reading the passage first will help you out? In this way you'll get to know what has been told in the passage, and when you read the question you will be able to check yourself that where the answer is, right? So we'll see both the approaches in one of each of the passages. So let's start with the first passage. So this is the sample paper that has been released by CBSE, and we'll be doing this paper itself. So how this paper goes on and which questions are asked here. So let's read the paragraph first. Now we're going to bound ourselves for 15 minutes, and we have to try solving this question in 15 minutes itself. We have to check whether we'll be able to solve the the question in the first 15 minutes or not. Okay, just give me a second. Yeah. Okay, great. Even I'll be able to see that what I'm teaching right now. Okay, so this paragraph starts with, mountains have always been held, in great awe by mankind. Now you have to just keep underlining all the words that you feel are not familiar to you. I'll tell you why I'm making you guys do that. So firstly, underline awe and move ahead. Mountains have always been in a great awe by mankind, which means mountains are something that every human has loved. They have been a challenge to humans. Those brave among us have wanted to conquer them. So whoever is brave between us really wanted to go to the mountains and just bring them under their control, you see the more incredible the mountains, the greater the thrill. The higher the mountain is going to be, the more adrenaline rush you're going to have to climb that mountain. A challenge to the bravery of the human race, because that is a challenge that the nature is posing to humans, that go and climb this. So there's an adrenaline rush in that. Climbing mountains is an experience hard to put into words. Now, whichever line you feel, students, could have some importance in your answers, just keep underlining that point. Climbing mountains is an experience that is hard to put into words. You are in a beautiful environment, and when you reach the top, you feel incredible. So they're telling that, when you're going to reach the top of the, the mountain, you're going to feel very good. But you also have to climb down. So once you have taken the journey up, you have to come back down. You have to climb down, which is when most accidents happen. And yes, this is very, very true that most of the accidents, students, happens when all the people are coming down from the mountains. Which is when most accidents happen. People are tired. It gets dark. It's harder to come back down. So mountain climbing is undoubtedly one of the most popular adventure sports, along with being challenging and risky for the climber. So now what they say is that it has been undoubtedly one of the most popular adventure, yes, but on the other hand, it is risky as well. So till now, what we have read that mountains are a challenge for human beings. There's a word called awe that we have underlined, maybe because that could be, difficult here. Apart from that, we have also seen that people have seen incredible mountains, and the higher the mountain, the more, thrilling it is going to be for the person to climb. They also say that, the feeling when one reaches the top is unexplicable. One cannot explain what the feeling is all about. They also at that point of time say that, it is easier to climb up, but it is harder to come back down because you're tired, because it's already dark, and there are certain things that you have to check at that point of time, and it is risky for the climber to come back down. So this is what we have read in the first part. Now let's see what the paragraph says ahead. Without any perceived risk. Now here we have underlined another word, perceived. Even though you do not know the meaning of the word, just underline it and move ahead, because when you're going to have antonym synonym questions, and that way we can check which of the following words will be used by us and which of the following words can be taken into consideration by us as well. There can't be a feeling that any significant challenge has been surmounted. So again, he says that without any perceived risk, which means without any thought of risk, there can't be a feeling of challenge that has been surmounted. So there's not going to be a feeling that you feel you have accomplished, you have conquered. So in order to conquer your fear, there has to be a feeling of fear in your mind. Fear, but we have to bear in mind that mountaineering is not a sport that can be embraced without preparation. So they also say that mountaineering is one such sport that a person cannot take up until they are prepared for it. The enthusiasts must develop in themselves the spirit of adventure. The person who really wants to climb the mountain has to make up their minds first in order to undertake that journey. The willingness to undertake hardships and risk. Because when you're climbing a mountain, at that point of time, you really don't know what's going to happen with you. So you have to keep these things in mind, that whatever you're doing, it has to be very, very sure. You need to have that willingness in you in order to climb the mountain. Extraordinary power of perseverance. Now again, we are having a difficult word here, perseverance. Let's underline it and move ahead. Endurance and keenness. Again, these are the words. Of purpose before climbing a mountain. They should also know how to handle the mountaineering equipment. A person who's climbing a mountain should also know that which is the harness, how to tie the harness, how to use all the equipments that a person needs in order to climb the mountains. They should also know how to handle a mountaineering equipment. They come to penance of the rigorous training. And then, the final point of the training, the rigorous, the hard training comes when the person is able to climb the mountain successfully. This could very well be the lifeline up there. It could help inculcate and hone survival instincts that allow the climber to negotiate perilous situations. Now, there are various words, students, that are quite difficult here. So they say that all the practice that they have done so far is going to help them inculcate, which means it is going to help them have those survival instincts in the person for the climber to negotiate perilous situations, which means to come out of the difficult situations the person is going to face. There are numerous institutes in India and abroad that offer such training. So there are various places that offer such kind of training to people where they can learn, how to climb a mountain. So these are the lines that are given to us. Now again we have another paragraph. After that we'll come to questions. So they say mountain climbers are unanimous in agreeing that unpredictable weather is what they fear the most. So that says that there is one particular thing that all people believe, that the climate while they are climbing the mountains is very unpredictable. They do not know what could happen and what is going to happen. There may be sunshine any moment and snowstorm on the other. So at one point of time it is going to shine bright. The next moment it is going to have a snowstorm there. At higher altitudes, which means at higher heights, snow is a regular feature and being decisive about setting up camps or proceeding further is crucial. So at these heights, at higher heights, obviously snow is going to be there. So they say at this point of time, snow is a regular feature that is going to happen. So being decisive, which means you're going to have a clear mind that yes, you can climb the mountain or not, and about setting camps and proceeding further is crucial. So at that point of time it is very, very important to check where you have to set your camps, what is going to be the place where you're going to stay. The icy sheets after a storm make walking treacherous. So once once the snowfall is done, and dusted, the icy sheets, now the ice starts to build up and they are very, very slippery. So if a person who's climbing a mountain just by chance, if his feet slips again, if his feet slip, in that case he could fall and he could die. So it is treacherous. Treacherous means it is very, very dangerous. So let me just give you the meaning of the words in order to see whether you will be able to write the answers ahead or not. While the powdery snow makes a mountaineer sink deep into the snow. So the snow there is very powdery, it is very porous in that way, and if a person just puts his foot in the snow, in that way the feet of the person sinks deep into the snow. Up there, where the intention is to embrace nature's wonder, one realizes that it cannot be done without facing its formidable glory. So a person who thinks that has made up his mind that yes, I'll climb the mountain and I'll reach the top. Before reaching the top, a person has to face various problems before reaching that point. A true mountaineer may challenge the mountain, yet is always respectful to the powerful nature of forces of nature. A person who's very enthusiastic to climb a mountain is always respectful to the power, yet is always respectful for the powerful forces of the nature. So what exactly happens at this point of time is, a person who's trying to climb a mountain definitely is going to challenge something that is there in the sky. Yeah, this is the sample paper, but this is the practice discussion, right? Yeah, I know, Shashwat Pandey, that this is a sample paper and not the practice paper. That is what I'm saying, that this is a practice discussion, like how your paper is going to be and how you have to find out the answer. So you understood the paragraph, that it is all about mountaineering, the challenges one has to face while the person is climbing the mountain. So let's see even though we do not have the question. Summiting mountains carry its own health risks. So now summiting, which means climbing the mountain, so like going on the top of the mountain has its own risks and problems. For example, altitude sickness. Once the person reaches that height, the oxygen level drops. Roast bites, all not the roast bite, it's actually the frost bites. The frost bites, swelling of hands and feet, fluid collection in brains and lungs, and an exhaustion. So by the time you reach that height, there's water in your brain, in your lungs, and in that way, in that case, your body might collapse. Yet the gratification mountaineers feel from mastering something that is so frightening urges them to undertake these endeavors. So the gratification, the satisfaction, or the thankfulness that one faces once they have reached the top is the motive behind the fact that the person undertakes climbing the mountains. We may think that the mountaineers are fearless, but experts say not at all. But the people who climb mountains are not fearless. It's the fear that keeps them so intrigued with such arduous journeys. It is the fear in their mind that allows them to undertake such dangerous journeys. Impulse and brazeness can be deadly foes. So the same impulse, doing something just out of action, just out of that adrenaline rush that, yes, I had to do it and I did it without thinking of the consequences. And the brazeness, which means the, what can we exactly say for brazeness? Impulse and brazeness can be deadly foes. Foes, which means it is enemy. The impulsive action and when the person goes overboard can be its enemy. In the words of Indian mountaineer Bechandri Pal, the biggest risk is not to take risk at all. Remember that. So he says the biggest risk while climbing a mountain is not to take any risk, because without risk you cannot conquer anything. So as you know, it is a famous dialogue of a movie as well. You have to take a risk in order to achieve something. Alright, I hope I'm clear to this point. Yeah, this is for English and not English. Alright, so this is the first question from the paper, students. Why does the writer say the mountains inspire awe in humans? Now, awe means basically surprise or some sort of wonder in the minds of people. So again, we have seen the first question. Now, the word awe is written. What you can do is you can go back to the paragraph where the word was written and you can find out the line. Mountains have always been held in great awe by human beings. They have been a challenge to humans. So here we get the answer that it is a challenge. Now, let's see the question here. What the question says. They present us with the opportunities for exciting sports. They evoke the wish in us to master them. They inspire in us the deed of valor. Yeah, they represent peace and calm to us. They represent us opportunities for exciting sports. Yes, it could be. Evoke, which means to grow, basically. To grow. The wish to master them. They inspire the deed of valor. Valor means strength. They represent peace and calm to us. So now you guys have to answer what could be the correct answer for this. Now we have seen that they pose a challenge to us, right? Now we do it because we feel, that there's a challenge, we have to undertake. So why does a person undertakes challenge? Because obviously they want to conquer it. So which is the option out of 4 which you guys can think of the following question? Do let me know of the answer. What could be the answer for the same, students? I am not able to see your guys' comments. Just give me a second. Yeah, alright. So what you guys will do is, one thing that I would suggest you, just keep writing your answers in a sheet of paper. Because on the next slide, I'm going to show you the answer and let's check how many of you got your answers right. Alright, so again, as I said, it's a practice paper, so why not? So let's see the answer. What's the answer to this question? They evoke the wish in us to master them. Why? Because we see them as a challenge. Because we see them as a challenge. So when a person tends to see something as a challenge, it is always for the fact that the person wants to conquer it. Because that is something the person wants to accomplish. Right? I hope I'm clear till there. Yes, Unseen Gamer. If there's any doubt, please feel free to ask. Wrong. No issues. There's a big paper in front of you. We'll do it. I am great. Alright, let's see the next question. The more incredible the mountains, the greater the thrill. Now you have to select the option that is in correlation to this statement. More incredible. Now this is the part of adjective that states the comparative degree. Right, comparative. Why? Because more is used here and ER is used here. So now you have to check which of the following goes in the correct pattern. The higher the stamina, the lower the food intake. We have to see the reference of the sentences as well, whether all of these are correct or not. The more you laugh, the lesser your illness. The smaller the car, the bigger the advantage, or the heavier the luggage, the higher the penalty. Now see, both of them talks about something happening in the same set of line. More incredible, greater. Which means more the mountains, more the thrill. So you have to find out which says one of them is higher and the other one is the more than it. So you have to find out the point. What could be the answer for these students? The heavier the luggage, the higher the penalty. Could that be the answer? Yes, that's the answer. The heavier the luggage, the higher the penalty. Now, why this is the answer here? Yes, because again we are talking about the heavier the luggage. You know, the heavier the luggage, the higher the penalty. Here also, higher the mountain, the greater is the thrill for that. So both of them have to be in a correlation to each other. The higher the stamina, the lower the food intake, which means this is going like this. So this could not be the answer. The more you laugh, the lesser your illness. Again, it is going inversely proportional. The smaller the car, the bigger the advantage. So smaller and bigger. Again, both of three of them are going in opposite trends, right? We do not have to write the opposite trend. We have to find the same trend. So the same trend is this one. So that is why D option is the correct answer here. The heavier the luggage, the higher the penalty. All right, students. Let's see the next question. Select the following options that display what the writer projects with reference to the following. So mountain climbing is undoubtedly one of the most popular sports. What is the poet showing here? This line here. So mountain climbing is undoubtedly, which means the poet is sure, right? The author is showing surety here. Now, which of the following words show that the author is sure in this point of time? Doubt, caution, conviction, or denial? Now, I'll tell you how you can find out the answer even if you do not know the meaning of the words. What is the answer for this question? Yes. The answer for this question is, students, conviction. Now, why the answer is conviction? Because doubt also shows unsurety. Caution. A person is cautious because he's unsure about something, right? Denial. When you do not agree to something, it is do not agree. When you are not agreeing to that particular thing, then how can you accept surety there? So conviction is the only word that shows surety. So option number C is the correct answer. I hope many of you have got this answer right. Great, बहुत बढ़िया. Now let's move ahead. Conviction is the answer here. Now complete the following with a phrase from paragraph 1. Best experienced rather than described. Now what is best experience rather than said in words? Now they have also given us a point that is in paragraph 1. So just note this down. Best experience rather than described. You have found your keywords, experienced and described. Now go to paragraph 1 and find out which of the following could be your answer. First paragraph. Climbing mountains is an experience hard to put in words. Now this was the line they had been talking about, because this is what they had said. They had said it is best described, best experienced than described. Describing means by telling it in words, which means you've got the word. Describing it in words and experiencing it. What is mountain climbing is an experience that is hard to put in words. So here you get your answer. Now you have to tell me what can be the answer for this. The question here is this one. Your opinion, best experience rather than described. Which is the line from paragraph 1 that shows this point? Yes, I've only got one correct answer. Two correct answers. Please try, everybody. I've got two correct. Yeah. Now I'm getting right answers. Hard to put in words. Great. Hard to put in words. Best described, best experience rather than put in words. Now the writer compares training to penance in the line. Then comes the penance of the rigorous training. Paragraph 2. State one point of similarity between training and penance. Basically, penance means self-inflicted pain. Basically, penance means self-inflicted pain. Once a person is going to climb a mountain, they're going to inflict some sort of pain in their body because they have to climb mountains, they have to challenge themselves. So this is something that they're doing knowingly, right? They are putting themselves into that point where they are going to put them into a challenge, where they're going to put them into a very difficult situation, right? So penance means self-inflicted pains. Now what does self-inflicted pain mean? Self-inflicted pain means that when a person puts himself or herself in such a situation where the person has to feel some sort of pain in that point of time, and the person does it for himself or herself. So in this case, a person training in penance, what could be the word from the second paragraph for rigorous training that comes in your mind? Now let's see the second paragraph, students. You have to find the word hair. I hope it's hair itself. Just give me a second. No, it's here. I've underlined the word here. I've underlined the word here that could be the answer for this question. The penance, which means something very, very difficult, right? Something very, very difficult. So training, when a person trains him or herself for this point, like when they have to climb the mountain, they are challenging themselves. So it is very difficult. It requires perseverance. It requires hard work, dedication, mindset, strong mindset. All these words could be your answer. Yeah, difficult could be the answer, right? Now let's see the next question. Based on a reading of the text, list 2 reasons why the writers say mountaineering is not a sport that can be embraced without preparation. Now from all the things we have read, basically from paragraph 2 we'll get the answer. Mountaineering is not a sport. It is not something that anybody can undertake. This is something that can only be embraced, which means taken into a consideration, that only one person can do consideration without preparation. This is something that a person cannot do without preparation. What is the line from paragraph 2 that could be your answer? There are various reasons that they have told here. You have to just mention any 2 of the following. I'll let you know from where the answer could be there. You just have to give me a short word which would tell that why the person cannot undertake such problem, such mountaineering as a very easy thing to do. Why is mountaineering not a what is that? Cakewalk, sorry. Why is mountaineering not an easy thing to do? Why is mountaineering not an easy thing to do? Why? Because there are various reasons, as they have already written. They have to allow, the situations here, like for example, icy sheets. A person, walking is very treacherous. One could be this point. The powdery snow makes a mountaineer sink deep into the snow. There is intention to, there were other points as well. There may be sunshine at a moment and snow at the other. At higher altitude, snow regular feature and being decisive about setting camps. No, this could not be the point here. So we can take this point. And temperature is one thing, weather is one thing, and icy sheets is one thing, powdery ice is one thing. So the answer for this question, students, could be this as well. Any of the points which you guys have chosen could be the answer for this, because they say mountaineering includes difficulties like having to walk on icy sheets that could not be accomplished without proper preparation. You cannot walk on ice without preparations, right? in most questions, yes, the paragraph number will be there, but in certain questions, the paragraph number might not be there. That is completely upon the CBSE what kind of paper they are giving. Because mountaineers include dealing with several health hazards and cannot be managed without preparation, like shortness of breath, the making up of fluid in brain and heart. All right, the other problems of swelling of hands and feet. All these problems cannot be undertaken if the person has not gone under training, right? Because managing unpredictable weather is essential in mountaineering and cannot be accomplished without prepared with specific training. So in order to manage that weather, one has to be prepared. So any of the 2 points could be your answer. These are all the points that you guys can miss it, that you guys can, write. Because mountaineering presents the risk of fatality, which means you could die. The risk of death due to faulty decision making. In case if your decision is wrong regarding a particular thing, you could lose your life and cannot be addressed without being prepared. Practice makes a man perfect. So if you have not prepared, if you have not practiced anything, then you cannot, achieve it. Then you cannot hone your skills. So just in the same way, you will not prepare. If you will not practice unseen passages, then it is very difficult for everybody to get good marks. So it is very important to understand the passage first and then come and solve the questions. You can find all the answers in the paragraph itself, but you have to just find out which point you have to undertake and write in your answer. You have to write any 2 points from all these points. And yes, one more thing, students. There are chances that the CBSE can give, there have been instances in previous years, they have given certain questions in the sample paper and later on those questions were there in the final exam as well. That have happened in some cases. So it is always better to at least practice all the unseen passages from the sample papers, because that could be a very good practice for everybody here. Alright, so now let's move to the next part. What connects does the writer draw between unpredictable weather and setting up of camp? Now, what relation does the writer put up when they were talking about what? Setting up camps and the weather. Now, here's the line I'll let you know. You have to find out the answer on your own and write the answer in the chat box. Yeah. I'll mark the line as well. Here is the line. At higher altitudes, At higher altitudes, regular feature and being decisive about setting up camps proceeding further is crucial. Now, why setting up camp is crucial? Now, these are the lines you have to find out. Read the paragraph from at least ahead and behind and you'll get to know the answer. Yeah, in this case, in case if you're not allowed, as you said, very good point, I have to let you guys know this. In case if you're not allowed to mark in your question paper, what I used to do when I was there in my school is, I used to mark my answers in such a way. In case if I have not underlined the answer, what I used to do was, I just used to make a small dot here and used to make a small dot here. Because I know where I put dots. The teacher who's going to come and just, a glance at my paper could not see where I have marked dots, but bracket and parentheses will be noticed. So one thing that you can do is, you can just put small dots. And you can have a very, very faint A or B. In that case, only you will be able to see your answers and nobody else. This is what I used to do. Okay. So now, the answer for this question is here, students. Just give me a second. The weather is unpredictable and therefore it is difficult to decide where to set the camp. So person who's prepared, the person who knows where the camp has to be, is the one who could prefer to climb when it's sunny and camp when it's snowing, because you never know what the weather is all about. So when the weather is good, you can climb the mountain. The moment it is going to snow, just set a camp and just stay there, because when it is snowing, it is not easy for a person to climb the mountain. Alright, I hope I'm clear till this point of time. And these questions are clear to you. After the live session is over, I would definitely suggest everybody to go and check the PDF that will be in the channel, I suppose. Not on the channel, very sorry. That will be in the description box of the channel as well, on the PW app as well. So when you will see the questions and when you listen to the audio once again, when you will see the live once again, you will be able to comprehend the answers in a better way for all those students who are not able to do that right now. Alright, now we have question number 8. The writer says a true mountaineer may challenge the mountain. So a person who knows, how to climb a mountain might challenge it, yet it is always respectful to the power of forces of nature. So if a person knows that yes, I have to climb it, but at the same time the person knows what threat the climbing the mountain could pose him. Select the reason the mountaineer is respectful to the forces of nature. So what could be the reason the person is respectful? Is it for survival, experience, tradition, or is it just directive? Which means he has to just do it. What is going to be the reason that the person respects the mountain, keeping, even after challenging them? Now this is the answer I want. The answer would be survival. Is it the experience of the person? Is it the tradition of the person to respect the mountains? Or it is just a directive or a knowledge the person has been given by the people while he was training? What could be the first instinct of the person? The first instinct of the person would be survival, students. Why? Because in that adverse situation, the only thing he has to do is to survive, right? So in that case, the survival is the biggest thing. So the reason why he is going to respect the nature is just because he wants to survive that. Survival is the answer. Supply 1 point to justify the following. While mountain climbing is an impulsive mountaineer is either disaster prone or as good as dead. So when a person is climbing a mountain, a person who's impulsive, which means a person who doesn't know what is wrong, what is right, and the person thinks like, yes, I'm going to do it, it doesn't really matter, is either a disaster prone or as good as dead. Is that person very, very, what can we say, vulnerable to disaster, or the person is as good as dead? It would be better if the person was dead. Which could be the answer for this? You have to give 1 point to justify the following, because in that case the person will definitely die. If the person has an impulsive action, in that way the person will definitely die. Survival is the key in mountain climbing, right? The only thing a person is climbing a mountain is for adrenaline rush, but once the person is climbing it, it is all about survival. So survival is the key in mountain climbing, and it can be done meticulously or with planning or with careful decision making only. A reckless mountain climbing is as prone to death as something else. A careful application of training. Whatever you have learned previously is very important to be followed there. It has no room for rash or impulsive decisions. In case if you're taking such decisions which are not right, then in that case, you're definitely going to die. Any action that will lead, if of these sort, will lead to accident or fatalities. In that case, a person will definitely die. Alright. So what is happening in this point of time is, students, that the questions that they're going to give you are not easy. Right? They're not giving you direct questions. They're going to give you questions that are inference based. Now, what are these questions all about? They are inference based, which means what you have understood from these questions, you have to give the answer according to that. Now we have 10th question. Evaluate inappropriate reason for the feeling of exhilaration on reaching a summit. You have to choose the inappropriate reason, the wrong reason that a mountain climber experiences. Exhilaration, which means happy, extreme happiness. The feeling of extreme happiness a person feels when a person climbs the mountain or reaches the summit. Now you have to choose the inappropriate option. English will be done soon. English will be done soon. That will be done on the other channel, I suppose. Next time, I think probably the next week you will have English also for the paper. What could be the answer for this question, students? Achievement of a seemingly impossible feat. Feat means height. Spectacular panoramic view. Panoramic means wide-angled. Wide-angled view. Application of the inculcated survival instinct or opportunity to use sophisticated mountaineering equipment. Why does a person feel happy? You have to choose the incorrect option. Soon. Soon, I'll come soon. But abhi to padh lo. At least study now. So students, option number D. Opportunity to use sophisticated mountaineering equipments. If a person is inexperienced, believe me, all these sophisticated mountaineering equipments even won't help him. Because if a person doesn't know how to climb a mountain, then all these things are waste. All these things will go in vain. So yes, a person, the feeling of achievement is going to be the point. Spectacular panoramic view. Like you're standing in the top of the world and you have the world below you. So definitely that's something that a person is going to enjoy. Application of the survival instinct. Whatever he has learned will be practiced here, yes. But if a person is getting a chance to use sophisticated equipments, if the person is not prepared for that, then in that case, it's not going to help him out. So definitely option number D is the correct answer here. And as you guys can see. So now we have the second passage. I hope the first passage is clear to everyone. Just give me a thumbs up and then we'll start with the second passage. Okay, which section you should start first? I prefer to start with section C first, literature part. Why? Because you've practiced literature for the entire year, right? You've practiced literature for an entire year. In that case, solving that part is going to make you very, very confident because you know all the questions, you've practiced things. So definitely, it will be very helpful and very good start for your paper that you're going to start with section C, that is the literature part, because you know everything there. Chances of knowing everything are high. After that, I suggest to start with section B, that is the writing skills, because again, if your mind is fresh, you will be able to form good answers, right? So in that way, I suggest to start with section C, go to section B, solve the writing skill questions, then go to grammar, because grammar is going to give you a very good boost, because solving grammar is like a mental exercise itself. So third thing you have to do is to solve the grammar and then come to the writing, this section A wala part in the last time, because the first question has to be solved in the first half, 15 minutes of the paper itself. Now you're only going to solve the second part of the paper, right? The second paragraph. So in that way, you will be left with plenty of time, and you've already given the information that you remembered. So now you have to only solve something that is a bluff in the paper, like something that you've only seen for the first time, right? Thank you, Anushka. And thank you, Abhinav, as well. Okay, shall we start with the second paragraph? Now there's one more thing, students, that I want everybody to remember is the paragraph that you're going to get in the paper are going to be of two types. One is going to be a descriptive paragraph where they're going to give you a description about something, and the other one is going to be a factual paragraph where they're going to give you facts. So you have to prepare your mind in such a way that in one paragraph here you will find description of various things, and in the other point you will find fact that you have to keep in mind. And solving the fact wala part is easy, I suppose. Okay. So now let's start with the second paragraph. They say the northeast of India is a melting pot of variegated culture mosaic of people and races. So the northeast India, the seven sisters basically they might be talking about, is a melting pot. Melting pot, which means where everything is mixed. A variegated culture mosaic. Now what is a mosaic? Mosaic is a collage. Right, as you all have made for your photos as well, a collage of people and races, which means a mixture of people and various races of various colors, an ethnic tapestry of many hues and shade, which means it is a kind of a group of people of various colors, various shades, various backgrounds, various cultures and everything. So it is a of ethnic tapestry of many hues and shades, yet these states are lesser explored as compared to the rest of the country. Now, very important point that these states are great. They have a lot of heterogeneity, which means they are a mixture of various cultures, but still people explore these states less. The new generation of travelers who are money rich and time poor. Now we have new generation of travelers who have a lot of money but do not have proper time, are increasingly looking for unique experiences. Now going to Manali, now going to all those places that people have gone previously is not something that people usually like. Now they tend to have new adventures in their lives, right? So what are the new adventures that the people would like to inculcate or they want to experience in their life? So they say they're looking for unique experiences, a phenomenon being called the emergence of experience economy, which means where you're spending your money in such a way where you're going to get a good experience out of it. For this new and growing breed, which means a new group, here we can refer to breed as a new group of tourists, the northeast with its variety of uniqueness holds immense attraction. So they say for the people who are more into experiential enjoyment student who wants to experience various things, Northeast is going to be the place where a person has to go, where a person could visit. Alright, I hope students I'm clear till this point. Just give me a second. I think my video here is at some point back. Just a second, students. Yeah. A study conducted. Now this is a factual passage because now you have a study, proper fact that are written here. A study conducted in 2020, so you know the year, by whom? By Dr. Sherab Bhutia, revealed that the foreign tourist arrival in Northeast increased from 37,380 persons in 2005 to 1,18,552 in 2014. Again, you have a stats here. So just mark the stats and move ahead. The overall growth rate of tourists, both domestic means from the country itself and from foreign, in the Northeast was as high as 26.44 during 2005 to 2006. A higher positive growth of 12.53 was registered in the foreign tourist visit in the North states of India during 2012. So they're giving you statistics to solve. Now you have to just keep those statistics in your mind, just keep underlining them or just keep highlighting them in your paper. Which further rose to register a growth of 27.93 during 2013 from 2012. Foreign tourists arrival in Northeast witnessed a growth of 39.77 from 2014 from 2013, which means that now what they have done is they have given the years inversely, right? According to data provided from Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. All these data that is given from what? It is given by Ministry of Tourism by the Government of India. The study recommendation for tourism planners include the need to concentrate on some key areas. Now all the things that we have read, now what is the conclusion for the same? They have to concentrate on some key areas like the enhancement of tourist facilities, one. Second is tourism financing. They have to give the states some money in order to finance a better tourism situation for the people. Focus on community involvement. So the local communities are involved in the tourism department, and the others for the formulation of a sustainable tourism strategy, so that it doesn't get expensive for the government and that it doesn't get expensive for the people who are visiting Northeast states as well. So these are the suggestions. Now what we have marked in the entire paragraph, students, we have marked the statistical part that is given to us, and we have marked what could be the recommendations which the people could follow, right? So now let's see the first question. They say infer one reason for the following based on information in paragraph 1. Now you have to give one reason for the same. The rate of tourism in North India puzzles tourism officials. Now what is the reason why people get confused that why the tourism rate is such in the areas? Now we have read the beauty is great, but the number of people coming there is less. So this is your answer here. So this is your answer here. The rate of tourism in Northeast India puzzles tourism officials. Why? Because people are more. Right, the beauty is more, but the people coming here are less. So the answer is, this is so because the states are lesser explored as compared to the rest of the country, in spite of having lots of offer. Because they have so much to give, they have so great scenic beauty. Even after that, they are not able to, cater to the needs of the tourists. That is why it confuses the the officials here who are there for the for tourism. Now the next question, from the paragraph 1 we can infer that dash and dash of the northeastern states aid attracting the money rich and time poor tourist. Now what are the two things that attracts the money rich and time poor people there? The distinctiveness, the conventionality, the diversity, the uniformity, or the modernity. Now we know the diversity is one of them. So find the option that have 1 and 3. So I hope this could be the answer for the question. So let's see 1 and 3. Because we have read that diversity is there, right? This area is diverse. So wherever you find diversity, which means that could be the answer. Now 3 is only in option number A. So eliminate all the options and take this answer, and that is definitely going to be your answer. The option is 1 and 3. Which means this place has distinctiveness. The place is different. The place is diverse. Yeah, some points once we're done with the passages, then I'll suggest what can be done to solve the passages effectively. Complete the following analogy correctly with the word or phrase from paragraph 1. Now, what do you mean by analogy? Analogy basically means it is something related to mental ability of the students. Now, they're going to give you some words that are in relation or they're in opposition to each other. Now, you have to find one more pair that is going to be either in the similarity or in the opposition of it. Like, practice paper discussion will be soon done on the foundation channel as well, student. I think Pranshu is asking this question. Yes, it is going to definitely happen, but some days later. Aroma is to cooking. So dash is to painting. Like aroma is a part. Aroma means the good smell of the food is to cooking. So when you cook food, you have good smell of the food. Similarly, what is an integral part of painting? So when you cook food, a good aroma is there. So when you paint, what is the one thing that could going to be? The hues and shades. When you're going to paint, it is going to have various colors. It is going to have various shades. So this is one word that we have found out from the passage. I think the level of paper is not that easy. Definitely the paper is not that easy. But yes, on the other hand, I would like to say the paper is not as difficult as we are expecting it to be. It is a moderate level of paper. But yes, if the student knows how to solve it, then great, then the person can score good. But in case if you're not familiar with the format of the paper, then yes, it could be a problem. Just give me a second. I'm feeling very hot right now. Yeah. Important chapter as per the point of view of papers. So students, I would like to say that everything you're studying is important because you never know what could be there in a paper. Let's see the next question. Travelers advocating the experience economy seek a holiday package with dash. Now experience economy, as I said economy, as you've read of economy class. So what do you mean by economy here? Which means that is value for money. So if a person is looking for something where they have to, seek a holiday, which of the following option would be a value for money for them? Which one? Why is the beauty not the answer for this question? Which one? Painting, because you have to find a word that is there in the paragraph. So in that case, if you're going to write beauty, that is not there in the paragraph directly. But like aroma is a word that is directly related to the cooking of food, because when you cook food, there's going to be a good amount of smell, good smell that is coming out of food. In the same way, hues and shades are the various varieties of shades that one gets while a person is painting. That is why beauty cannot be directly related to the question previously, but shades and hues can. Yeah, definitely. You will attempt your paper in a very calm mind with self-confidence, then definitely you can crack the paper, and obviously PW is there for you. I'll tell you, once we are done with the paper, I'll tell you what could be the best way to practice the paper. Alright. Now let's move ahead. Now you have to tell me the answer for this. Value for money. Whenever you're going to find something, you need value for money. So what could be the value for money here? The grand facilities, expensive hotels and excellent services. A wholesome experience within the budget they have planned for. A person, what is value for money? What is the money that you have? You get to enjoy everything in that limited budget, right? Places and cities to buy things and opportunities to spend money. A person who's going, yes, the person is going to spend money, but he cannot be spending a lot of money and then come back like, oh my god, I've spent all my salary and now I have nothing to have for the next coming days. Cost effective services, affordable accommodation and many days of touring. Out of B and D, one is the answer here. What could be the answer by you, as per you students? Value for money is what you need. So it could be budget, within the budget, or they want to get cost effective services. Option number B or option number D? Let me just put my mic thoda sa dur, because in that case you will be able to hear me properly. Option B or option D, students? Option B. Because they want to have a wholesome experience, which means a great experience, that too which fits their budget, right? Which fits their budget, because value for money means budget, something that he has to go by a budget. Now why not option D? Cost effective services, affordable accommodation and many days of touring. You cannot get many days of touring there, because the person who's going for tour definitely must be a person who's in the corporate sector or the person who's working. So having many days of tour is not practically possible. Now you have another question. That is for visually impaired candidates. So I would definitely like to skip this question if you guys really want, but obviously if certain questions can come for you as well. So let's not take this question for visually impaired candidates and let's solve this. Select the chart that appropriately represents the trend of foreign tourism travels in the Northeast from 2011 to 2014. Now what could be the answer for the same? It's a very, very easy question. Very easy question. We have seen that the tourism had gone up. So there is only one option that shows that tourism has gone up. That is this option number B. Option 2. There is no fluctuation. There is no gap. So option number 2 is the correct answer here, because that shows the skyrocketing of the travel in the northeastern part. Option 2. Fill in the blank by selecting the correct option. The study of tourist travel statistics in the Northeast from 2005 to 2014 showed dash result. Expected, encouraging, inconsistent or questionable result. So as you have seen the part here from 2005 to 2004. Okay. So you have to find the part where 2005 and 4 are being talked about. We are probably going to see it here, I think. No, we're going to see it here. The statistical part is here. 2004 to 2005. The overall growth rate of tourism, both domestic and foreign in Northeast, was as high during 2005 and 2006. A high and positive rate was registered in foreign tour from 2012 to 21. So, okay, we have only one part of 2004 to 5, and here we are for that answer. We have to tell that the kind of growth was what? Whether it was questionable, whether it was encouraging. So the growth rate was something 39%, right? So in case if you have 39% of growth rate, then it cannot be expected. It is encouraging, because as we've seen the trend for the years ahead, one thing that is clear to us is that yes, the tourism has increased. So definitely the answer could be encouraging. Inconsistent means not constant or continue. Inconsistent is that is not constant, that keeps on changing, that fluctuates, that changes. Okay. Questionable, which means that is not clear to you. Substitute the word witnessed. Now witnessed mean to see something, right? With one word similar in the meaning. Foreign tourist arrivals in the Northeast witnessed the growth of. Now you have to find a word similar to witnessed from paragraph 2. Now let's come to paragraph 2. You have to find a word similar to witnessed here. Witnessed. Revealed. No. Positive growth registered. Was witnessed or was shown? Could registered be the word? Let's see something else. Are we going to find something here? No. Was registered or found? So what could be the answer for this question, students? The answer could be observed, recorded, showed, displayed, recorded, or registered. Any of the following words that you find, students, are correct could be the answer for this question. Okay. What do you mean by witness? That is to show, to observe, to record, to be displayed, to be registered, to be noted. Any of the word could go. Let's see the next question. List any 2 examples of tourist facilities as referred in paragraph 3. Tourist facilities. Now what could be the tourist facilities as we have seen in paragraph 3? I'll just show you the paragraph 3 once again and you have to find out the answer. Enhancement of tourist facilities, tourism financing, focusing on community involvement, or formulation of sustainable training facility. So any of the following could be your answer, student, and you have to just note these lines down. So the answer is that recreation parks, gardens, museums, shopping areas could be open, hotels and hostels and camps could be there, essential eating outlets should be there, toilets, water points, kiosks for map, currency exchange rates, currency exchange outlets, certified travel guides, transport shuttle service, sightseeing bus. Now all these areas are certain things that we have to think of. Now what are the things that could think of? What are the things that could improve the tourism there? Okay. Tourist facilities. What could be the tourist facilities? You have to find the answer on your own. Transport dedicated shuttle services, sightseeing buses, cards, passes, car hiring stations, Wi-Fi availability, websites. Now because all these things are going to be the things that are going to what? They're going to boost tourism. They're going to boost tourism. Because in the places where we live, all these things are available to us. And these are the reasons why we have a good amount of tourist places and people who tend to live, and enjoy the tourism here. So these could all be the reasons for the same. List one reason why the researchers recommended that the formulation of tourism strategy in North India states be sustainable. Why does it has to be sustainable? Because we have seen that all this policies that people have made so far are not sustainable because they create a lot of burden on the government or the people. So to ensure or to create socio-economic benefits, so that the local community, the people also get to earn something, so that to reduce the negative impact of destination, to reduce the negative impact caused on the destination, because people come, they litter there, they throw things, they spoil the the monuments. So all these things are the negative effects of the following. To ensure that the protection of culture and heritage is done, to ensure the minimum intervention or the let me write the meaning in Hindi here. To barge there unnecessarily, or to protect natural wildlife or resources. You have to choose any of the following point. Now what I'm saying is these answers are inference based. You have to understand the question and then you have to write this on your own. But this is the paper for CBSE. That's what I'm telling, that this year CBSE has gone to the level of ICSE. That is what I personally think, because when I had given paper, the questions were not this difficult. But this year I don't know what they are doing, but why are they giving such papers? But yes, the paper is quite difficult. But I'm saying these words not in order to demotivate you guys, but in order to make you guys understand that yes, it is still a time that you can study. Now how tourism is a trade is an answer that you can get from SST chapter, but yes, I'll tell. Because when there's an influx of people in your state, and that way the trade increases. The people who are coming there are going to give you money. In that way the people are going to, I'm telling you, bata rahi hu. In that way the people are going to give the money here, people are going to earn, they're going to earn, so they're going to have a better lifestyle. In that way they're going to contribute better to the economy, the taxes will be paid properly, people will get jobs, the employment opportunity will be there, or the country will get the money in case if the people are visiting all the government places, all the museums, all the wildlife sanctuaries. There's an entry ticket for the same. So all the money that is gathered there goes directly to the government, that the government uses for the development of the area. So in that way tourism can be a trade. Right. So moving ahead, select the option that titles paragraph 1 to 3 appropriately. Now what could be the titles from paragraph 1 to 3 with reference to the information? Now the first paragraph, it was all about the way people go to the northeast and why northeast is still an unexplored place. It is full speed ahead, winds of changes, inspecting trends, or cause and effect. I think we were inspecting trends there, or it could be the cause and effect. Because in the second part, statistically speaking, the second paragraph was all about statistics, right? So this could be the answer, I suppose. Just think and let me know the answer for 10th question. After this we are done with section A, we'll start with section B. Do let me know the answer. Thank you. It feels great because the number of students are less here, but I'm definitely enjoying to teach you all because I'm actually able to focus on everybody here. So I feel great. Good. Okay, yes, the C could be the answer because again we have statistical data here. So in case you were not able to find the answer from the first part, the second paragraph is all about statistics. So go ahead with the C option and then your answer won't be wrong. And no, but it is winds of change and time for action. That could not be the answer, I suppose. Winds of change and time for action. No. Option C could be the correct answer as per I think. As per me, C option is the correct one. Because winds of change and time for action. Yes, time for action could be correct. But let's investigate. Okay. We have let's investigate. Okay. So this option could not be the one because we have nothing to investigate about. Time for action, winds of change. Yes. This shows the stats that changed. Could be. Yes. And time for action because there were points that the recommendations could be followed and winds of changes. All that's happening. So yes, I think option B would be the correct option then. Because let's investigate could not be the answer here. So option B is the correct answer. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It feels great to hear such compliments. Great. Okay, so now we have grammar students. I hope everybody is ready for this part because this is something everybody loves to do. It is like a mental exercise. For me it is. Okay, shall we start with grammar now? Yes, even my favorite. I have one student, Pata Abhinav Shukla. I have one student. I won't take the name, but I'm getting that same vibe from you because this is how we have a good conversation while I teach her. So you're just like her. And it's great to talk to everybody here. So please keep talking to me in between. I'm already reading the comments because the chat rate is very slow. So I'm able to read all the comments here. Hi, uncle. Okay, so let's continue. Now we have section B, that is grammar. Now again, I've already taken this part in the grammar for my, what have I taken previously? That was the English marathon. So these are the same questions, but yes, I'll discuss all the questions in detail again. So let's start now. The climate control comment by an activist on social media dash yesterday. So here we had a dash. Now what could be the answer for the same? Now again the hint here that you have, student, is yesterday, which means you're talking about the past tense, right? You're talking about the past tense. So find the options which correlates to the past tense here. Blow up, no, it is present. So this could not be your answer. Blew up, yes, this is the past tense, but let's see the other options as well. Is blown, no, it is the passive voice. So passive voice and that too in present could not be the answer. Will be blown, it goes to future. So we have seen yesterday, which means we're talking about past. So option number B, students, is going to be the correct answer. That is blew up. The climate control comment by an activist on social media blew up yesterday, which means some sort of comment was made by an activist who was a climate control activist, and that point might be so controversial or so encouraging or so impactful that it blew up, which means it got famous. Read the conversation, again reported speech, my favorite topic. Read the conversation between a doctor and his patient. Complete the sentence by reporting the patient's reply correctly. Do you feel down from time to time, Mr. Gopalan? Yes, I do not stay in a good mood, is what Mr. Gopalan said. The doctor, while trying to figure out his patient's ailment, asked about his well-being, which means this question is already done, we have to answer this. To which the patient affirmed means replied. Now you have to only find the dialogue here. Yes, I do not stay in a good mood, which means this could be your answer. Now you have to change this. Now I will be changed to he, third person. Do not. When it is changed into past, it will become did not. Now if you write stayed, then your answer would be wrong. Okay, then your answer would be wrong because did not always takes the first form of verb. Did not plus V1. Remember this rule, always and always. So it will be stay. Again in a good mood. So how many of you got your answers right? How many of you got your answers right? He did not stay in a good mood. Just do let me know how many of you got your answers correct. What I've done in my marathon was I asked everybody to keep noting their answers and check in the last hour how many of you got the answers correct. Yes, 75% attendance is compulsory for examination. Otherwise, you have to go directly to the examination board center to get your admit card. Because in that case, the school will create a lot of problem for you to, give you the admit card. They'll make you, sign all those, what are those? Documents and undertakings, so that in case if something wrong happens, the school will not be liable for the same thing. Yes, it is really compulsory to have 75% attendance while you are there in your class. It is compulsory. You have to maintain it, unfortunately, but you have to. Okay, so now moving ahead to the next question. What is the hint here? Addition of sometimes, time to time acceptable. Okay, so not in a good mood at times, or you can add sometimes and time to time, but in case if you're not adding it, that is also correct, because in that way you're going to confuse yourself. Select the correct option to fill in the blank from the given line from a health magazine. So now you're having a health magazine and you have to find out the answer. The advertisement read, if you smoke, statistically your story dash end 15% before it should. So basically they're trying to mock you. They say if you smoke, smoke anything, your story, which means your life, will end 15% earlier than it has to. So your life must, your life should, your life will, or your life ought. Now must shows compulsion, should shows advice, will shows determination, and ought to shows your obligation, that you have to do it. It's a duty. Now choose the answer for the following, students. Ought to is used, students, star, when you are talking about obligation, when it is your duty to do it. Like for example, if I say I ought to stand when the national anthem is started, has started on the speaker or anywhere, when the national anthem is sung, to be precise. Ought to shows your obligation, where you have to do it. So the advertisement read, if you smoke, statistically your story dash end. So here you are showing that determination. No, should will not be the answer. Your story should end. You are advising the person ki, if you'll smoke, you should die. Why are you advising the person? You are determined for that, because that is definitely going to happen. Why? Because it is statistically proven, students. So you have the determination, you have that surety in your mind that yes, this will happen. So will be the answer and not should. Okay, I hope this question is clear to everyone. So now here's the next question on your screen, student. You have to find out that what is the error in this question. Find out. Jaldi se. Can and could be difference. Yes, can is used when you're using it in the present to tell about your ability, and could is used when you're talking about your ability in the past tense. And can, when used in the starting, is for permission, and could is used when you're making a polite request. Do let me know the answer for this. Which of the following is wrong? Select the option that identifies the error and supply the correction for the following line from a news report. Last week, a child was not allowed to board the plane at Ranchi airport. Yes, the answer is the to a. Now let's understand the reason. Because here we are talking about a child, which means here the child is not confirmed. We do not know which child we are talking about. It's a random child. So here the plane has to also go in a random manner. You cannot say the plane because you do not know which plane we are talking about. So that is why it will not be the plane, it will be a plane. So option number C is the correct answer for this question. Now we have the next question, students. As I was standing on the dock, looking out of the lake for the last time, a feeling of emptiness dashed over me like darkness. Again, this person is very sad. So let's end his sadness and find the answer for him. As I was standing on the docks, looking out at the lake for the last time, a feeling of emptiness dashed over me like darkness. Will wash. Now see, you're having past tense here, students. So your answer also has to be in past tense. So find out which of the following is in past tense here. Yes, washed. Only washed. Because this again will is future, had is past perfect, will is simple future. That could not be your answer. So the correct answer is washed. Because the entire sentence is there in the past tense. No, B will not be the answer. Because he was standing on the docks. So this is a sentence of parallelism. Right. Language galat ho jati hai. Please give me some tip to correct it. One thing that you can do is answer mein grammar mein language galat. Okay. In that case, keep practicing your answers. And I suggest what you can do is, you have various grammar checking platforms, right? After writing an answer, go check it on the grammar platform. If you feel that you've not joined any tuition, if you do not know whether you'll be able to get the answer or not, one thing that I would suggest is that go and check your answers on any of the grammar checking platforms, and that way you'll be able to check that where your answer was wrong. And the reason why your answer was wrong, the comment box is open. Definitely you can ask me in the comment box, I'll answer you. Because I do read the comments that are there. Okay. Moving ahead to the next question. Fill in the blank by using the correct form of verb from the bracket for the following word. Subject is request for approval. Right. You're writing a letter to somebody. Dear sir, this is to respectfully submit that I dash approval for organizing a tree plantation drive to be undertaken by the club. So here are the options, that is the word that you have to find out the answer is seek. So the answer will be will seek? No, because it's to respectfully submit. You are telling the person that you're doing this, which means you're declaring the sentence, right? You're giving a declaration for the same. And when I've taken the marathon for English on PW Foundation channel, I've told there that whenever you're going to declare a point, whenever you're going to tell something that is affirmative in tone, where you're proving your point, where you're giving your point, in that way, your answer has to be in simple present tense or present indefinite tense only. Right. Present indefinite tense only, or in simple terms, if I would like to say, simple present tense only. So here the person is I. Right. With I use plural form of verb, so the answer will be seek only. So I seek approval. I seeks nahi hoga. I seek approval. I cannot speak in Hindi. It's an English channel, so I have to speak in English itself, students. Sorry for that. Tips: practice one unseen passage a day. At least one passage a day. And that too, what I would like to suggest is, who asked this question? Ajay Kumar Pandey. Practice one unseen passage a day, that too from the previous year questions, sample papers. Give yourself some time, at least start a stopwatch of 20 minutes. And then time by time reduce, gradually reduce the timing that you've given yourself. In that way, you will be able to find correct answers, and you'll be able to practice well, because unseen passage is a bluff. Okay, so it's not that you do not need practice. Everything needs practice in order to conquer it, in order to win it. So yes, you have to do this. I will bring something for 12th class in the next week for sure. Japanese language, I do not know. Japanese language, I do not know Japanese, student. Very sorry. Okay. Next question. Report the dialogue between a grandson and his grandfather by completing the sentence. The sentence is, Grandpa, who are your superheroes? Grandpa said, anyone who shows kindness and compassion to others. In response to the question about his superheroes, grandfather says that who is the superhero for the grandfather? I have no opinion. I do not see football. I am not a football fan, so I have no opinion regarding this. In response to the question about the superheroes, grandfathers say that dash. Anyone who shows kindness and compassion to others is his superhero, right? So the answer could be, it is anyone who shows kindness and compassion to others. Now, why, students, have I taken this answer, or why this answer is in present tense? Why? Because the father is telling a universal truth, that who are the superheroes for him? The person who would be a superhero for him will be a person who, doesn't, who is not unkind. So in this way, the person who shows kindness and compassion is the universal truth. So definitely a person who is going to show, karaya jayega, Sundaram Pandey, the lecture will be in Hindi as well, but here it is being entirely in English. Yeah. So it's a universal truth. Anybody who shows kindness and compassion to others is definitely going to be a person who could be the grandfather for the hero. So this is the sentence of what? It is the sentence of present and definite tense, universal truth. So in this way, we will not change the tense here. Now identify the error in the given sentence from a school magazine report and supply the correction. The sentence says, in order to balancing the sentiments of the Eagles and Hawks, the student council suggested a rematch between this team. So here you have to find out the error, students. Give me the doubt. Not the doubt, sorry, the error. Very sorry, the error here. Pralab 117, my name is Niharika. Class duration is not fixed. We have unseen pass. We have writing, skills and literature left. So in order to find the error, just keep this one thing in mind. Like did plus first form of verb also 2 plus V1. You're never going to use 2 with ing or any other form of verb. So error is balancing. And the correct answer is balance. In order to balance the sentiments of the Eagles and the Hawks, the student council suggested a rematch between the teams. Vocabulary will not be directly there in your paper, but you can get to know about your vocabulary by I'll tell bare infinitus in the last technical zone. Let's just study first. Next question is, Sunil shared some information with Tariq about a holiday at sea. Report Tariq's question. Did you enjoy traveling by sea? Now this sentence is of simple past, and I've already told in my lecture as well, and I'm telling now also, you have to change this in past perfect. Alright, so I'm giving you a minute, students. Change this sentence. Did you enjoy traveling by sea into past tense? How will I practice unseen comprehension passage? Unseen comprehension passage are going to be a tricky thing. But yes, if you're going to practice it daily, give yourself 15 minutes, start time-bound practice. Know that you have to find out the answer from 2 types of passage. Either a descriptive passage where you're going to get details, or you're going to get the passage where there's going to be data. That is the factual one. So in case of the descriptive paragraph, the questions are going to be a bit easy, because the paragraph is difficult. While on the other hand, while you're going to go for the factual passage, there the data is easy. The data is difficult to understand, but the questions are easy. They're going to ask you direct questions in the factual passages and difficult questions in the descriptive passages. So keep just this thing in mind so that you'll be able to understand the questions easily, and you know that where you have to focus and how you have to practice. Give yourself 20 minutes in the initial days. Start practicing an unseen passage. See whether you're able to find the answers or not. I give you 2 ways, either read the passage first or either read the question first. Whichever of the following is okay for you, please go with that. I would suggest you read the question first and then go with the answers, because you know what the question is. So in the back of the mind, you'll have your question, so you'll be able to find the answer easily. No, this cannot come, I think. Pre-says, no, this will not come. Yes. Did you enjoy traveling by sea? The answer could be yes or answer could be no. If did you, which means you will be changed to he, did will be changed to had. Now again, as I said, now both the places will change. The reporting verb and the subject will change. If he had, enjoy will be changed into enjoyed, third form. If he had enjoyed traveling by sea. Oh, sorry, not the question mark, full stop. If he had enjoyed traveling by the sea. Now keep this one again thing in mind, students. Now keep one more thing in mind, that whenever you're changing a question into the reported speech, never mark a full stop in the last, never mark a question mark in the last, always end it by a full stop. Now Tariq asked Sunil if or whether he had enjoyed traveling by the sea. Now fill in the blank by choosing the correct option to complete the ministry of a child welfare. Dash we afford to neglect children? Think twice. I have no idea. Even I want to attend that Menti. No idea. Chalo. Batao the answer. We afford to neglect children. Think twice. Options are will, may, need, and can. Yes. Can we afford to neglect children? Do we have the ability to? Do we have the ability? Do we have the ability to neglect the children? Now this could be your answer. This is your answer. Sorry. Can. Question 11. Select the correct option. Now you have to only answer 10 questions, but I am taking all the questions here. Select the correct option to complete the narration from the given dialogue. Father says, why ask so many questions, Lata? Lata says, I believe that if you do not know the answer, keep asking till you do. So the father asked Lata the reason for many questions she was asking. Lata exclaimed good humoredly, and bahut has ke usne bola that even in the event of not knowing the answer, one should dash. Keep asking till you do or till they do. Or keep one does. Keep asking till one does. Kept asking till one does. Keep asking till one do. Or kept on to ask till one do. These options cannot be the answer. Now you have to find the answer from these two. Keep asking till one does or keep asking till one do. Yes, Purva and Abhishek Madheshia, if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Which will be the answer? Yes, option A. Because one, singular subject. So, singular verb. S or ES will be added. Keep asking till one does. Alright students, I hope this question is clear to everyone. The last question for grammar goes on like this. Identify the error on the shop hoarding and supply the correction for the following sales offer. Gumnam and Daughters Private Limited, Bindapur, Jharkhand. Massive discount for all senior citizen vaccinated with the precautionary dose. You have to find out what is the error here and you have to write the answer for it. Yes, this is a question of the sample paper directly. Were you able to answer it correctly, Kartike? Thank you, Purva. What will be the answer for this? What is the error in this part? Just do let me know what is the answer here. Yes, error is all. Why error is all? Because all is a collection of people, right? So here the sentence is like massive discount for all senior citizens, which means everybody. No, we are not talking about everybody. We are talking about each and every person who's vaccinated with the precautionary dose, which means we're talking about every person individually and only those people who have taken the precautionary dose. So the answer cannot be all, because all is a collection, irrespective whether you've taken the dose or not, but each shows every person individually. So all is the error here and the correct answer will be each, and you can write the reason to show individuality. Okay? To show individuality. Now we are done with the section B grammar part. Now we are going to start with section B creative writing skills. 2 questions. One of them is going to be a question letter question, and one is going to be an analytical paragraph. Ananya Verma, I've taken your name. Now do let me know if you guys are clear with this point, till this point, so that I can continue ahead. Just give me a thumbs up if things are clear till here, students. No, double theme questions are given by me. There is one such student also who has given great questions there. So please go ahead and practice those questions. That would be sufficient. Even I am enjoying teaching you. I hope clear. Shall we start with the writing skill? Lenko was a good person. Yes, Lenko was a good person. No. You do not have to write the reason why you're writing the correction. I have written the reason because in order to tell you guys that what was the error there. That's it. Yeah, Lenko was a good person. Yes, he was a good person. But there was some point in his mind that he had a conflict with himself or with the people. Because that was the reason why he considered the people as a bunch of crooks. And so he had problem with people. Apart from that, he was a good person. Okay, shall we start? So before we start with literature, we'll just have 2 minutes or 5 minutes of break. After that, we'll continue. If you guys are okay with having a break, if you guys are not, then I can finish the paper in one go. I do not have any problem. Okay, students, now we're going to start with creative writing skills. Now, creative writing skills is all about the way you write. One thing that you all have to remember is going to be the format, students. Alright, format is something that you all should remember. Keep your tone formal. Do not go informal in your writing skills because that will lead you to lose marks. Now, create paragraphs. Create paragraph. Do not write answer in a single paragraph. Write paragraphs. And precise your points. Now, what do you mean by precise your points? Precise your point which means you have to be very clear with your points. You do not have to, create stories. You do not have to fumble in between. Just be very, very clear. To the point answers has to be there. All right. I hope I'm clear till this point. Shall we start? Okay. So here is the first question. You are Sunidhi Prakash, the Vice Captain of Brilliant Vidyalaya, Bara, Kanpur. So you are getting the person's name, you're getting the sender's name, you're getting his or her designation, you're getting the sender's address. You have recently noticed several posters around your school giving a hazardous message. Lose weight in just a month, a wonder diet. So now you're having the topic as well. Right, you're getting the details and the question itself comes to your rescue. A privilege available only for few. It is a line written that this is a diet that only few people can take. The reason why only few people can take is because they want to create that point in the people's mind. Because the people who have created this advertisement want to create a point in the people's mind that only limited seats are available for the people to have the diet, so that more and more number of people get to have this diet, and the more they'll be able to earn. So it is a kind of a business tactic that they are using, right? This is a kind of a business tactic that they are using, right? So what you have to do is you have to write a letter to the editor of DWA. DWA is a national daily, or national daily basically means a newspaper that is given or that is published or that is printed throughout the country. In not more than 120 words is their word limit. Now keep this one thing in mind. Your word limit can go up to 130 to 140 words, but not more than that. And you have to draw attention. Now what has to be the main reason? Attention towards harm caused by such advertisements. How these advertisements are harmful, and propose the implementation of wholesome lunch month. And your school is also organizing a wholesome lunch month as an idea to address such practices, because more and more people are now into eating wrong food items and all the fad diets. You can also use the word fad diet because that is what happened. Fad diets are fake diet that people tend to take in the name of losing weight in just a month, be slim, be like this, be like that, and people fall in the traps. You have to write the implementation of wholesome lunch month, where the school will offer a potentially healthy food options to the people, where they can have that good food. Is an idea of address such practices and mention the advantages and share suggestions to foster, which means to inculcate, to have good healthy routines and develop a positive image among the youngsters, so that they get to know that all these diets are fake, all these diets are just business tactics that people tend to perform. If a person, in case if you exceed the word limit, God knows what's going to happen in the paper. If the word limit is 120, you can go to 140, 130, 135, 140, but not more than that. The moment you're going to exceed the word limit beyond that, teacher will start deducting marks. For at least 0.5, 1 mark will be deducted. If you go overboard than what is given, 130, 140 would still suffice, but not more than that. I know you have a lot of things to write, but this is what English is all about. That is why it is named creative writing, because you have to be creative. You have to write your point in such a manner that you give all the points and the word limit does not exceed, right? So let's move ahead. Now again, what you have to do is you have to give the sender's address. The first thing is going to be the sender's address, students. Then you're going to give the date. Then you're going to give the designation of the person that who you are writing the letter to. After that, you have to write the receiver's address. After receiver's address, you have to write the subject. Now what I suggest student is that, do not write JECT after it. Let the subject be just SUB itself. Alright. Now, and another thing that you guys have to keep your thing in mind is that underline the subject. Need for promoting healthy eating routines. You have to give a short and crisp subject. What you have to do, you have to give a short and crisp subject. Which means the person who is going to read your letter should get to know that what you have written. And one more thing, students, that I wish to tell everybody, while you are writing the letter to the editor, keep this one thing in mind, that the editor is not going to, go and just change things for you. The editor is only going to read your letter. He's going to understand the points. He's going to make an article on it. He's going to publish the article in the newspaper. When the concerned authorities will read that newspaper article, then they'll take the action on that. So you're writing the letter to the editor just to tell the person or just to convey to the authorities your message, which is not being heard till now. So keep this thing in mind, that when you write your letter, always mention this point, that through the esteemed column of your newspaper, I would like to draw the attentions of the concerned authorities, not the editor, but the concerned authorities, because it is the concerned authorities who are going to take the action and not the editor himself. Alright, I hope I am clear till this point. Okay. So dear madam, okay, do not write dear. No dear. Never add dear. I don't know why they have given dear in the sample papers marking scheme, but never write dear. Now madam, this is with reference to posters bearing the message of crash diet. Now I'm writing this letter to tell you about the posters that are there regarding the crash diet. Now we mean crash diet is that, stop eating, stop doing certain things. Being posted around our school premises, where they all are being posted around the school premises, which means around the school areas. Such posters impact the youngsters. So now we are telling the problem. And the mentioning the problem is very important, students. We are telling that these ads are impacting the youngsters negatively. There's a negative impact over the students and can be hazardous. Hazardous means dangerous. Now all these things can be really dangerous, because in this way their entire metabolism gets haywire and they might face certain problems. No, why you cannot write dear? Because we do not know the person, right? We do not know who we are talking to. Maybe the editor might be at a high level. So you cannot add dear, because dear is something that we use for friends and not for a person who's at a higher authority. One thing that I suggest is, what I prefer to tell my student is, that never write respected also. Because respected sir, respected ma'am. Sir and ma'am itself is a respected designation. So you need not write respected sir, respected ma'am, and dear as per me is completely forbidden. Never start your letter with dear sir, dear ma'am. No, that is something that should not be done. Such posters impact the youngsters negatively and can be hazardous for their self-esteem, because when we are taunted that yes, you are fat, you need to reduce weight, you do not look good, that is something that demoralizes the person. So giving those ads, reduce weight, so the person might feel insecure about themselves, that yes, I'm not good, maybe I should reduce weight. So that is something that should not happen. And when these advertisements come, they actually demoralizes the people. I would like to propose the idea of implementing wholesome lunch month. So as a solution for the problem, what I would like to do, I would like to propose the idea of wholesome lunch month for all the students to counter, which means to oppose. Now, because this wholesome lunch will give the student an ability to have healthy lunch options, तो इसे to counter the implication of such misleading advertisements, this initiative is sure to encourage all students. This way, all the students will be encouraged to bring nutritious and healthy lunch. In this way, everybody will bring nutritious and healthy lunch to school and will develop healthy eating routines. To ensure that this project gains strength, schools may organize puppet shows. Now we have given options on how this thing can be publicized, that the school can organize puppet shows, they can organize nukkad nataks, they can organize street play, TED talks by nutritionists and psychologists, where they will emphasize, where they'll focus the need of healthy eating and healthy lifestyle. Although even I need this healthy lifestyle, but never mind. Encompassing the theme to foster healthy eating routine and a positive body image, to tell people that you are good the way you look. You need not change yourself just because some people are taunting that you do not look good, you are fat, you are this, you are that. No, you are best the way you are. So remain the way you are. You need not listen to people what they say. So I hope the publishing of my letter in the columns of a renowned daily means your daily, which means a newspaper that is published daily, newspaper, let me just, newspaper that's published daily. By the column of a newspaper, of a renowned newspaper, I would like to spread awareness and promote a healthy lifestyle among the students. So when you will tell, because we do not have any concerned authorities, the only thing we have is the need for healthy lifestyle, or to cater or to counter the negative advertisements that are there in the I have discussed writing skills for class 12 Titendra Kumar previously on Friday itself. Now the next session will be of something else. So that how? Oh, thank you. Great. Yours truly is Sunidhi. Now who's Sunidhi Prakash? This is the signature here. So the this yellowish part is the signature here. You can have a signature or you can avoid this. This can be omitted. It is completely optional. Okay, it is completely optional, but it was there in the CBSE marking scheme. This entire answer scheme is taken from the CBSE marking scheme itself. So it was there, so it's not a problem if you can include it. It's completely optional. Your name and your designation. Whenever you write a letter to the editor, or whenever you're writing a formal letter, it is very important, imperative to give your designation in the end, that what was your authority of writing that particular piece of notice. Alright, I hope I am clear. I hope I am clear till this point. All the 40 students here who are there in my class, I just need the chat rate at 40 because I want to know if things are clear to everyone. What is the chat rate right now? 32. Arey, great. Only 8 students are not replying. Very good. I don't mind taking students who are less in number because I am actually enjoying it. Because I'm able to talk to each and everyone. Okay. Badhiya. Great. Let's move ahead. Okay. Now we have another question that is again from a letter part, because we are given 2 questions, so we will practice all the questions. We will not leave any of the following. You are Zach Sakaria, a resident of 412 Magna Greens apartment, Gandhi Marg, Jaunpura, Mumbai, which means you are given the sender's address here. 3 students of great trend from your residential complex have rescued and rehabilitated a few old beggars from the neighborhood. Now the point is that there were 3 people who have rescued, who have helped poor people. You think their work deserves appreciation and recognition. You think that, they should be applauded for what they have done. So you have to write a letter to the president of the RWA, that is the Resident Welfare Association. Let me write the full form here. That is the Resident Welfare Association. Resident Welfare Association, seeking recommendation for these youth. Now what you have to do is you have to tell the Resident Welfare Association that these people had done all these things and you want them to be nominated for Serving Citizens Award. So there's an award known as Serving Citizens where people help each other. Suggest other ways and the act of kindness that could be recognized in the near future. But that how they can be applauded or how they can be given the recognition, as per this. So again, you have to write the sender's address, the date, the designation of the person, because now you're writing a formal letter to the president of the Resident Welfare Association. Obviously, the editor won't be there. The Magna Greens Apartment, 42 Gandhinagar Marg, Jaunpura, Mumbai. Now the subject is seeking recommendation for serving citizens award nominations. So you want to give certain recommendations. So this is your subject. You have to underline the subject. Again, I would like to cut dear sir, because I suggest you that do not add dear. Now again, we are writing that what, with whose reference and what point we are talking about. This is with a reference to the empathetic social service done by Miss Jia. Now empathetic is something where you put yourself in other person's shoes and try to understand their situation. Mas Advait and Master Pranit, residents of our complex, in rescuing and rehabilitating a few old beggars from our neighborhood. So in the first paragraph, we have itself told the introduction that why am I writing you this letter, that I am Jia, Miss Jia, and I'm talking about two people, that is Mas Advait and Master Pranit, the two people who have helped rehabilitating few old beggars from our area. These students ensured that the beggars were rehabilitated, which means they were given place to live. Given place to live at Seva Sadan, an NGO which takes care for the needy of our society, which means the poor people in the society. This selfless initiative carried out with dedication and responsibility deserves due recognition. So we would like to say that the initiative that they had taken with dedication and responsibility, it deserves recognition, which means these things should be known. I therefore request you to issue a letter of recommendation for these students to be nominated for Serving Citizens Award. So that I request the president that you are the one who could give the recommendations for the nomination. So I implore you, I say you that yes, you can give certain names on my behalf, because these people have done certain good things to the local municipal corporation. I would also like to submit that RWA set up a special committee that looks to such act in the future, that no poor people or no beggars are left homeless and nothing wrong happens to them. This would aid dedicated attention. This would aid, which means it would help here. That would help to have dedicated attention and appropriate screening of nominations, that which people are being nominated and what good they have done to the society. RWA, just remember this, RWA is Resident Welfare Association. Even if you do not remember this, leave it. Just simply mention RWA, that would be done. Arrangement of academic sponsorship for such children should also be an encouraging gesture. So we are saying that if you give them some academic sponsorships, that would also be something good. That would also be recognized as a gift to them, as an award to them. I entreat you address this at your earliest convenience. I entreat, which means I politely request हो रहा है यहाँ पे, politely लिख दिया मैंने, sorry. I politely request you to address, which means to work on, इस पे कुछ काम करो, इस प्रॉब्लम को मेरे समझो, अपनी जितना जल्दी आप इस चीज़ पे वर्क कर सकते हो करो, because of on the issue of recommendation letters, so that we should have a good committee to work on this. Yours sincerely, Zach Sakaria, and this is how you can write a letter. Now one thing that we have noted, student, here is the formal tone. We have written this letter in a very, very formal tone, so you can remember certain words here. That is this entire line. You can keep this thing in line. It is a very, very important line. You can use certain lines in your answer like this. And yeah, that's all. Do let me know if you've understood this question as well, because now we are moving ahead and now we're going to see, I hope, now we're going to see analytical paragraph. Okay, great. We'll take 5 minutes ka break before I start with literature, because I have developed a headache now. Okay, now this is a question very different from the previous years. Okay, it is a different question. Now why it is a different question? Because traditionally the questions that have been there in the previous years for analytical paragraph have actually been graph, have actually been statistical data. But this time it is not statistical data, it is something different, right? So what we'll see is that we are going to have a SWOT analysis. Now, what do you mean by SWOT analysis? A SWOT analysis is one such word that you will understand in your class 11th, because when you will make project for commerce stream. Now, S stands for strength. W stands for weakness. O stands for opportunities. And T stands for threats. So we are going to have a person called Gurmeet Kaur, who's an aspiring candidate for a public funded engineering college, because engineering colleges are very expensive. So he has to join a public funding engineering college in the suburbs. Suburb means it's the area that is not completely an urban area but not completely a rural area as well. So now this girl Gurmeet Kaur, she belongs to a nearby village. So her residence is in a village and has minimal technological skills, which means she doesn't have a good technological background. She knows very less things and exposure, and has a required cutoff percentage. But the college percentage that was given, she had cleared that and is looking for a complete or partial scholarship from that engineering college. Now we have to write a paragraph in 100 to 120 words analyzing her SWOT, which means her strength, her weakness, her opportunities, and her threat in the following situation, whether she should join the college or not. So in this case, you have to analyze the entire situation. Now how you can analyze the situation is, now I'm giving you one hint. Always compare opposite points. Always compare opposite points. Like for example, you can compare the strength to weakness, opportunities to threat. You can mention growing trends. Do not add personal opinion. As per my opinion, as this is what I think. Personal opinion should not be added. Okay, personal opinions should not be added in your answers. Okay, now this is the entire part. Her strength is a strong curriculum. The college offers her a very good curriculum. The faculty, which means the teachers there, are very good. It has vibrant club activities, which means very good exposure to the co-curricular activities. Green location. The area is very green, which means there's a lot of greenery there. Close proximity to residential areas. The college is very close to residential areas, which means if she wants to go for a hostel, she can go and have a hostel as well, or she can have a PG, that is, paying guest houses as well. Now, what are the weakness? The lack of diversity. The place is not very diverse. Not many people have joined it yet. Students' behavioral problems. Students are not good in behavior. No hostel facility. The college does not provide any hostel facility itself. Slow repair and maintenance work. The work that goes there in the college is very slow. So maybe the area, the campus might not be that good. Underutilization of IT services. They have IT services. They have computers, but they do not have that adequate resources to use them, which means I think they are potential, they are potential resources of the resource and development chapter. Lack of targeted advertisements to outstate students, which means not many people have known that college yet, which means that paper is still. No, never write the answer in points. Please keep this thing in mind, Govind K. Kumar and everybody who's here. Never write your English answers in points. It is a request, it is an order, it is an advice. Never write your answers in points. Always go for paragraphs. Okay, what are the opportunities? Practice-based research. Whatever research you're going to do, that could be practice-based. You can have partnership with professionals. Strong alumni, which means the people who have passed out from the college are very strong. Acclaimed student exchange, which means you can go to other countries. A student might come to your place, and you have a chance to go to the other country as a student. Now the threat. Now what is the problem? Lack of publicity in the areas of excellence. Definitely the college is good, but it does not have proper areas of excellence. Public perception towards funded colleges. They believe that these are the funded colleges, so they might not have proper education. They might not have proper teachers. Maybe things are not that good. Declining student interest towards technical subject, because people believe that there are more opportunities to explore, so why go for technical subjects? And low employee morale due to budget cuts, and not many people are employed after the college gets over, which means the placement level is not high because there's a budget cut. Not many people are there in the college. So this is the problem that people face, and these are the points that the girl has in her mind before she has to join the college. So let's see how can we form a analytical paragraph. One thing that I would suggest everybody is, apart from this answer, because you have to try framing your answers on your own, because you cannot learn and cram everything that is written, because obviously that's not technically possible. So whenever you're going to write answers, compare positives and negatives with each other. In that way your answers quality would be good. The given information illustrates the options Gurmeet would weigh in order to take the right decision about her admission in public funded engineering college. So the information is what this in the chart illustrates is the information that she would weigh, which means that she would check in her mind before she takes the decision about her admission in a public funded college, with availability of strong curriculum where the teachers will be good, quality faculty and vibrant activity clubs. She will be assured of an enriching educational journey. There she will have a very, very good educational journey. There she will be able to study nicely. Though the hostel facility is unavailable. Now we come to the weakness that the hostel facility is not there. But yes, it was written that it has a close proximity to residential areas, which means if not hostel, then any PG would go. Then if hostel facility is unavailable, she may take up accommodation in the suburbs or chose to travel daily from her village because it is close to her house. Good opportunities of practice-based research, partnership with professional companies, and international student exchange will enhance her professional and interpersonal skills. In that way, her professional and interpersonal, which means when a person is able to talk to the other person, that is the interpersonal skills will improve. Hard work, responsible behavior, and prudent, which means the right decision making. Prudent ka, let me write the meaning here. The wise decision making could help Gurmeet thrive in the college, and even though it has a rigid, which means a strict and conventional culture, even though the college is strict and very conventional, very orthodox, but still she'll be able to survive that. The strength and opportunities work in favor of Gurmeet. Taking this opportunity will allow her to mend her incorrect public perception towards public funded colleges, which means if she's going to take that college, she's going to break the stereotype that, you know, these colleges are not good. She's going to do something different. She's going to try something challenging here towards public funded colleges and students' outlook towards technical subject. This is how she will improve the entire stereotype for herself and for other people as well who could undertake these things. Yes, you have to use the formal letters. Now, one suggestion that I would like to give you students is that I have created a video for analytical paragraph, the kind of words that you can use there on PW Hindi medium. There you have the entire format and the clear explanation of what words can be used in order to make your analytical paragraph and your answers effective. So if you guys feel and if you guys want to check out that, then please definitely go ahead, because in that I've explained how and which words you can use in order to write the answers. Yeah, Unseen Gamer, you have a doubt, please ask. Please ask. Okay. Now, the answer could be in the following way. That was a normal answer, but if you go against her decision, now if you want to give the answer for against her decision, then how will you give that? So it is completely your choice. These are the all possible plausible ways in which the answer can be written. So that is why I've brought all that. The given information indicates Gurmeet's dilemma seeking admission in a public funded college. This shows that she is in a problematic situation where she has a confusion in her mind whether she should choose a public funded college or not. Now you're writing against the decision, that why she should not take that college. Though equipped with a strong curriculum, engaging activity clubs and enable faculty, the college lacks diversity. Now here we are reflecting the negative points more. So the person says that it lacks diversity and good conduct among students, which means the place, if the students are not good, then how will a person be able to survive there? Giving rise to concern of safe environment for a novice. Novice means a beginner, जिसने हम लोग हिंदी में noob भी कहते हैं. Beginner for Gurmeet. Again, if the environment is not safe, then going college for a girl is not easy. Underutilization of IT services, which means the IT services are not being utilized properly, which could be detrimental, which means which could be problematic for her future, because if the resources are not used, then how will she able to, work ahead? To the progress of Gurmeet's educational journey and add to the extra cost related to research work. Because if the facilities are not given, then how will she be able to bear all those costs by herself? If she does not qualify for complete or partial scholarship arrangement of her own accommodation, and additional expenses of student exchange program will increase her expenditure. So in case if she does not get that scholarship, so she has to take her own accommodation. That would again be very expensive for her, and obviously for a college student who doesn't earn, that is difficult. Such college environment may dampen her endeavoring spirit, so which means that would lower down her spirits. The weakness and threat outweigh the strength. So what I believe is that the problems, the weakness and the threat outweighs, which means are more than the strength in the case of Gurmeet. So recommendation is that she does not apply for admission to such colleges. So we can say that the problems are more as per the good points. So yes, she should not go for this college. Outweighs, which means are more than. Alright, I hope I am clear till this point, and there's no doubt, because this is how one of the analytical paragraph ends. Now we are going to see the second analytical paragraph that comes in the choice of or. Just do let me know if it is clear, then we'll start with the next one. I'm just having a sip of water. What's going on here? Unseen gamer, paper discussion. Alright, so let's move ahead to the next question. Read the following excerpt, which means a part of passage, from an online post of a website on educational practices. Now we are given that kids who appreciate how much effort, time and care goes into growing food will understand how important farmers are. So kids who know that how much effort, time and care goes into growing food will be the people who know that how important the farmers are and why it is important to take care of the earth, because the way earth is deteriorating, obviously the farmers are also facing certain problems. By sending the flowers, Shashi Yadav, I won't be able to change my language here because this is PW English, so I have to explain in English only. Sorry. In the world of today, gardening needs to be given more importance than sports, because obviously we are having a deteriorating environmental condition here. So gardening is more important than sports, because the more number of trees we'll have, the more the chances of us being on the earth will be. Music and dance in all schools, because it creates environmental stewards and outward learning laboratories that help the child and community for years to come. Which means that when a person gets to have practical knowledge, they become environmental stewards, which means the caretaker. They are going to be the people who are going to take the care for environment, because practical knowledges are like learning in the outdoor laboratories, and that will help the child and the community for the coming years. Now you have to write a paragraph in 100 to 120 words to analyze the given argument. Now what they are doing is they are not giving you proper paragraphs. They're not giving you statistical data. They're giving you lines and they're asking you to analyze the situation. So it is more of a debate rather than analytical paragraph. So you could think about the alternative explanation that might weaken your given conclusion and include rational evidences that would strengthen or counter the given argument. So you are given a line that children should be given more preference when they are when they are preferring gardening and when they are doing certain things like that, which would save the environment, because that will create a sense of awareness. Now you have to analyze the given paragraph in such a way that you'll either write in the positive manner, which means either you'll write the positive points of the situation or you'll write the negative points of the situation. So let's see the answer here. Argument for this subject for the statement, which means argument for, which means in the favor of. We'll see the favor of. In the world of today, gardening needs to be given more importance than sports, music and dance in all schools. Because the line that was given, we have to say that yes, gardening needs to be given more importance. While sports, music and dance contribute personal growth, current times mandate, which means the current times require attention towards issue that is global. Now nature and natural processes. Because the way everything is happening in a wrong way. Yes, definitely this is a sample paper for CBSE only, Shashi Yadav. Definitely this is an important paper for everyone. Yeah, Unseen Gamer, what is your doubt? Yeah, this looks like a debate. Yes, that's what I'm telling, that this year CBSE has gone haywire. Not exactly haywire, but this time they're trying to challenge the student. They're trying to bring questions that are high order thinking skills and not easy. So you have to analyze the situation and give your viewpoints. With growing food wastage in many homes today, urban young believing that vegetables are grown, harvested at supermarkets, the effort of the farmers are discredited. So the way people are wasting food, the way the people are wasting food in the marriages, and the way people see that, the children go in the supermarkets, they see the fruit and items there, they bring it home, they think that all these things are made easily. But in that way, the efforts of the farmer who have worked hard is being discredited, which means they are not given due attention. Gardening at school will open a first-hand learning experience of sowing, watering and harvesting process. If gardening is given importance in school, in that way children will inculcate practical knowledge where they will be able to learn how to sow, which means how to plant a seed, to water it, and then to finally harvest the process. In that way they'll understand the kind of toil, the hard work that people, I am from Delhi, the people take up when they, the farmers take up when they grow plants. Waiting for the sapling to grow will inculcate sensitivity, because they'll wait. The plant that they have sown, they will wait for the plant to come back. They'll wait for the plant to grow. That will create sensitivity towards people there. Patience, that you have to wait for the plant to grow. Empathy and gratitude and value for one's hard work, that you have to work hard in order to achieve something. Let it be a plant only. They will feel accountable for their piece of Mother Earth. They will have that feeling of accountability, the feeling of oneness, that yes, I am the one who have planted the plant myself, resulting in making them efficient and enterprising environmental stewards. In that way, they'll understand and they'll be the future, the enterprising, which means they'll be the what will they be? Representative. They will be the representative for the future generation, that they are the one who have to save the environment. Unlike sports, music or dance, gardening goes beyond enjoyment to create aware and responsible citizens of the future. When they learn gardening, it is more of an awareness. I am from Delhi, Unseen Gamer. So in that way, thank you for being helpful. I am obliged for you guys. Great. Yeah. So in that way, all these things will create some sort of responsibility in the student, because growing plant would just not be an activity, right? It would be something that would give them various life lessons. So that is why gardening is something that will give them the knowledge of hard work. They will learn patience, they will learn empathy, they will learn accountability, responsibility. So all the life lessons will be there in their mind as well. Good evening, Gulab Singh Rathod. So let's move ahead and see the argument against the subject. What if we write against that? No, gardening is not important. What is the use of gardening in the schools? Thank you. Gardening certainly should not be given precedence, which means importance. So people say that, gardening is not as important. So gardening should not be given precedence, which means importance over music, dance in all schools, because what is the use of gardening? Gardening at school requires good planning with hands-on guidance and continued supervision by the teachers. Now they say that gardening is a very difficult task to perform, because in that way, the teachers have to continuously stand on the student's head to see that something wrong is not happening. It needs continued supervision by the teachers. Students tend to lose interest due to slow and natural growth progress. When the plant is going to grow slowly, they are naturally going to lose their interest, that no, I am not interested in growing plants. As well as the investment of continuous hard work, because inculcating certain feelings of hard work in a small child is very difficult. So they say that doing it for a long time is going to be a great task. Small targets or goal would be missing, where the danger of destruction of their work due to rain, intrusion of grazing animal, pest attack is to set a feeling of defeat. Now these are very small things to grow a plant. What if it starts to rain? What if their plant does not grow? What if it is infested by a pest attack? What will happen then? What if somebody comes and if a person who's going, a lawn mower comes and the person is going to destroy their plant? What then? They're going to have a feeling of defeat, which means they'll become demoralized rather than being encouraged towards it. It may noted that sports, music and dance are uplifting activities and continuous activities that will make children happy, which display faster result and are enjoyable, and they inculcate team spirit, because people will be doing it in a team. But growing plant is individual. They will have the feeling of collaboration and confidence. Unlike gardening setbacks, these activities can be addressed with some sense of personal control. You can control your dancing, you can control your singing, but you cannot control the growth of a plant. These activities help students express and de-stress successfully. Dancing, playing, music and sports are certain things in which the person becomes active. Now growing a plant, going and just sowing the seed and coming back and waiting for the plant to grow, it is a very cumbersome and a very difficult task to do. Yeah, it is completely, ma'am, after debate, we can either opt for go against or for. Here also you're given a choice, student, that you can go for either for or either against. That is completely up to you. So maintaining their due importance in co-curriculum is imperative, which means it is important. So they say that maintaining their due importance, that they have to wait, they have to just check that when their plant will grow, when they can have the food out of it. It is a long thing to do and a very continuous task to do, a very cumbersome, difficult task to do. So that is why there are chances that student might lose their interest in growing plants. So these were the two arguments, one in the favor of the situation and one in the against of the situation. So I hope I am clear till this point to everyone, because now I need a 5 minutes break and I would like to give everybody a 5-minute break because it is already 8:30, I suppose. So last section, that is literature, that will almost take I think 45 minutes more. So let's just take a break for 5 to 7 minutes. 7 minutes would be enough. So let's have a break for 7 minutes and then we'll be back and then we'll start with the literature section. Right. So 7 minutes. Is 7 minutes okay? Because the number of students are 36. I need 36 ke 36 back. Okay. Ha, Himmat Kumar, if that's what name is. If that's your name is. Ha, Mohit Priyadarshi. 10 minutes or 7 minutes is okay. I hope 7 minutes is okay because last literature section is left. Let's just finish and dust it off. That 10 minutes. What is the unanimous decision here? Siddhima Gupta. I am taking everybody's name. Okay. Let's take a break for 7 minutes only. Let the decision be final. So let's meet after 7 minutes. Okay. And we'll come back and then we'll complete the literature section as well. Okay. 7 minutes and a timer starts now. Am I audible to everyone now? Let's start. Let's just be done and dusted with the literature section as well. Just do let me know if I'm audible to everyone. Shall we start? Okay. So now we are on the final part of our paper, that is the literature section, and we have to try to finish it, the literature section, on time. Now maybe this entire session is going to be longer than 3 hours because I have taken all the questions that were on the or section as well, which were the optional questions as well, because I wanted to give a glimpse of everything that we have done so far. So yes, the session might exceed from 3 hours, but of the paper limit, but yes, I had tried to give my best to you all. So now let's start with the literature section. That is a section that carries approximately 40 marks and is the most important section for our paper. So let's come on to the first question. Now the first question is an RTC based question, and the first extract says, "Hey, a tea garden," Rajveer cried excitedly. Now here we come to know that this part is taken from Glimpses of India. Pranjal said, who had been born and brought up on a plantation, didn't share Rajveer's excitement, because this boy Pranjal was born and brought up here, which means he did not have the same excitement as Rajveer had when he saw a tree garden. "Oh, this is a tree country now," he said. "Assam has the largest concentration of plantations in the world." This was the line that was said by, I think, Rajveer here. "You'll see enough of the garden to last a lifetime," is what Pranjal said. So he says that, there are so many gardens here that you might see endless gardens, even, No, it was not. Achha, oh, Vaitan mein. Okay. "I've been reading as much as I could about the tea." So he says, "I've read as much as I could about the tea," Rajveer said. "No one really know who discovered tea, but why there are so many legends." So they say that we never know that, who is the real one who has discovered the tea, but yes, there are many legends, which means there are many stories who have that have been there, that have been circulating, because of which we come to know that there are many stories behind the coming up of tea. So the first question says, why was Pranjal not excited as Rajveer about tea gardens? Because obviously Pranjal had been staying in that place. So that is why he was not excited. He disliked looking at tea gardens. He had worked in the tea garden himself. He had grown up in and around tea gardens. Yeah, he was bored with the tea gardens. The reason here is because he was born here in Assam only. So he had seen tea gardens for his entire life. So tea gardens did not excite him anymore. Next question. What does Pranjal mean by saying that Assam has the largest concentration of plantations in the world? This line means that there are the maximum number of tea gardens are present in Assam. So the maximum number of tea gardens are present in Assam. That the cultivation or harvesting or any other suitable word of tea is the highest at one place, that is Assam. You can write the answer in any form, but the meaning of the answer has to be same. Fill in the blank with one word only. Pranjal's dash comes through clearly when he exclaims, "You will see enough gardens to last your lifetime." So what is the word that could come here? His conviction, his surety, his point comes here when he says that we are going to see many tea gardens that will last your lifetime. I can write the word conviction here. Now conviction here shows the surety that he was trying to say, that there are going to be as many tea gardens that could last a lifetime. The word could be his frustration, his irritation, exasperation, or any other word that could be used here, that please yaar, you can see there are so many tea gardens that will last you a lifetime, so please stop talking about gardens to me. So this shows his conviction, his frustration, his irritation, or his exasperation, or any other word that you feel, jo aapko lagta hai that you feel is right for this answer, that would show his anger, his anguish, his anger, anguish, or what can we say? Boredom. Any word that could end with exclamation mark, because there's exclamation mark in the last. How, according to Rajveer, does the world know about the discovery of tea? Historical places, traditional tales, authentic anecdotes, or popular publication? Historical places, no. There were no places that would tell about the discovery of tea. Traditional tales, tales means stories. Authentic anecdotes, authentic means here trustworthy anecdotes. So we do not have any trustworthy anecdotes, we only have hearsay stories, which means they were passed on verbally from one generation to other. So I believe that the answer would be B part, that says traditional tales, which means traditional stories that have passed on verbally from one part to another. But if you say authentic anecdotes, anecdote also means stories, anecdote also means stories, but authentic means trustworthy. Here the stories are not trustworthy. So that is why option number B will be the answer for this question. Select the option that correctly captures the application of word cried as used in extract 1 of the line. The line he cried Rajveer tha na, wahan par line I suppose cried Rajveer was the line. Cried excitedly is to show his excitement. So we have to check that which of the following word does not show excitement here. Jaspreet cried in a lot of in spite of winning second place in a competition. You have to use that uses the word correctly. Here cried means to actually cry. It is cry in sadness because she has not won. So this could not be the answer. Jaspreet cried out aloud when she saw a white tiger in the sanctuary. Here it is out of shock or out of danger. So this could also not be the answer. Jaspreet cried for hours when the police was unable to find her lost pet. It was also out of sadness. Jaspreet has barely cried since she was 3 years old. She has cried. Yahan par bhi it is cried. Yahan par is used not in the terms of emotion but some other manner. So as per you, what do you guys think could be the answer for this question? Jaspreet cried out loud when she saw a white tiger in the sanctuary, because here it shows the exact reaction, the exaggerated reaction of Rajveer previously, that oh, tea, in the same way, oh, a white tiger. So that's why the cried shows an extreme action, exaggerated action. An exaggerated action. Now we have the second part, that is the second RTC, reference to context. Omega said, "It shall be done, sir. Remove vitamins." Crew takes the vitamins from boxes on their belts. He says, "Present vitamins," which means show vitamins. They hold the vitamins out in front of them stiffly, as if they were not ready to eat those vitamins, because this alien think tank had asked them to eat all those vitamins so that they can read what was written in the book. They popped the vitamins into their mouth and gulped them simultaneously. Everybody, gulped them, which means they had eaten them. They opened their eyes wide, their heads shake, and they put their head to their foreheads, and they were like, "Oh my God, what have we given? We cannot survive this." Think tank says, "Excellent, now decipher that code." So he says, now it is your chance to decipher, which means to decode. Now you have to transcribe or decode it. It shall be done, sir. They frown over the book, turning pages, and they were like turning the pages like, what is written? Please, I should get to know what's written. Omega, brightly, aha, iota, oho, and oop, ha ha ha. Think tank, what does it say? Tell me this instant. Transcribe Omega. So he says, just let me know that what is written. How to be sure? Somewhere an answer is going to be in your paper itself, Govind. You are going to find an answer because if you're sure that your answer is correct, then why you should not have a second thought. When I used to solve MCQ, I used to go with my instinct, because I believe that instinct gives you the right answer. So the first answer that comes in your mind, it has a chance of being correct. So this is my way that I have done it. So select the first option that captures the user word present from line 1. Oop received a nice present from think tank. Here it refers to a gift. So no, it cannot be the answer here. Iota needs to present his opinions firmly, which means to show. Here, there also it was used to show the vitamins. Omega must focus on the present and leave the past behind. This is, in Hindi we call it Vartaman, which means the time that is going on now. Oops didn't know anything even though crowd was present, which means there. So here the answer that can be the correct option is option number B, because when you read the sentence you get to know that where the words are used in a different manner. Here he needs to present, which means to show his opinion firmly. So question number 1 has option number B as the correct option, because there also he showed the vitamins. Here also he has to show his identity. Now frown, if it is to smile, then gloomily is to what? If frown is to smile, then gloomily is to what? It is to brightly, because there Omega said brightly. Select the option that display the reason why all crew members asked to have vitamins. Why were they asked to have vitamins? To boost their physical energy, to adapt to their circumstances, to quickly turn all the pages, or to accomplish a specific task. Just do let me know what can be the answer. Yes, 15 minutes चल जाएगा, approximately 15 से थोड़ा सा ऊपर ही जाएगा, 9:10 के आसपास. I am trying to wind it up by 9:10, 9:15 maximum. If you're not able to identify a mistake, you need to re-practice then, because you might know that what your mistake is. Where are you getting your numbers deducted? That is very important. So accomplish a specific task. That was to read the book. So here the correct answer will be option number D. Nothing will happen by boosting their physical energies, to adapt to their circumstances, to quickly turn the pages, or to accomplish a specific task, because they had to accomplish a specific task, that was to read the book. According to the extract, what did think tank think most according to extract, what did think tank most likely want Omega to do when he said transcribe? What do you mean by the word transcribe? To read aloud, to translate, to make notes, to interpret, record reactions. Now to translate, because what was written was not understood to think tank, because he wanted to be translated, he wanted things to be translated. So translate could be the answer. So find option number 2. We have option number 2 only here, so option number 2 and 4, that is to translate and to interpret. So in this way, this answer, option number 2 and option number 4 is the correct answer. So option number B is the correct answer for this question. Because if you know only one thing from the answer itself, it will be easier for you to understand that what could be the final answer. So 2 and 4, as you guys can see, is the correct answer for this question. Now the playwright places certain words and sentences in bracket. Now what could be the benefit for that? One is to give extra information. To give extra information. To make it more realistic, because whenever the dialogues are used and the emotions are written, so we get to know that in what emotion that particular point has been spoken. Helps actors and director to gain clarity about emotions and gestures. Second, helps to understanding the stage setting and the movement, or any other suitable explanation that you feel could be the correct answer. You guys can write it. Now again we have extracts from poems as well. The tree inside are moving out of the forest, that basically refers to women here. The forest that was empty all these days, where no bird sit, no insect hide, no sun bury in the feet in the shadow. The forest that was empty all these nights will be full by trees by the morning. So he says, every night the women work hard to, achieve something, to accomplish something, and finally it happens. So complete the sentence appropriately. It is clear that personification in the poet device is used. No sun bury its feet. So suns cannot bury their feet. So how is personification used here? You have to explain. Now personification is used because sun is non-human. Right. Personification is a poetic device where you have to give a living thing's attribute to a non-living thing. So here the sun is being personified. The sun is being personified as something living. The sun bury its feet. The sun cannot bury its feet. But still it is given an attribute of human, of moving, of burying its feet. The sun, which is non-human, is attributed as a human feature of having a feet. So that is why personification is used. The poet has used poetic devices in given line. What effect does she wish to create by the use? No bird could sit, no insect could hide, no sun could bury its feet. She wanted to emphasize, she wanted to compare, she wanted to rhyme, or she wanted to create a humorous situation. Here, ये practice paper होने वाला था. हाँ जी श्रेया सिंह ये होने वाला था. So basically, I believe that the emphasis is taking place here. They are emphasizing on certain points in order to understand the depth of the situation. Understand the depth of the situation. State whether the following statement is true or false. The extract uses tree as a symbol of conservative people. Is this statement true or false? Tree was used to tell about conservative people, yes or no? Answer is false. Why? Because it was not used for conservative people, it was used for women of society. It was used for women of society. Select the appropriate option to complete the sentence according to the extract. The idea of a forest that has been empty all these days is unnatural, scary, magical, or legendary. How can a forest be empty? So this is unnatural, scary, magical, or legendary. So I believe that it is unnatural. Because having a forest without trees is unnatural. That cannot happen. Alright. Unseen passages and long questions are there ahead. I'll just let you know. We are just coming to that part only. How does the use of enjambment impact the extract? Enjambment is a poetic device where we do not use punctuation marks while ending in the ending of the sentence. Punctuation likh diya, punctuation marks are missing. It forces frequent pauses. No. It simplifies the meaning, builds momentum, which means it builds speed, or it makes the lines lyrical. So obviously it is to increase the speed of the entire scenario. It builds a momentum so that you can read in a speedy manner, and you will be able to understand the poem nicely. Because when you take pauses, when you stop in between, the flow breaks down. Right. So in order to maintain that flow, it builds the momentum, it builds the speed of reading. So in order to increase that, there's no punctuation mark in between. Now we have a line from Anne Gregory as well, out of which you have to choose. I know it's not a practice paper, but it's a practice for you guys. It's a practice for you guys and not a practice paper. I know this. But can I get a hair dye and set such color there, brown or black or carrot, that young man in despair may love me for myself alone and not for my yellow hair? So basically here this lady Anne Gregory wanted a person in her life. Views are down as a live session is not showing on the channel. I have no idea, child. I have no idea regarding this, but I have no problem with this as well, because the students might be able to see this. Even if not, then nothing could be done. Anyways, but I am happy that all the students are here and they are answering the questions. I feel that's okay for me. But I can get a hair dye and set such color there, brown or black or carrot, that young men in despair may love me for myself alone or not for my yellow hair. So basically she wanted the men in her life to love her for what she is and not for her physical beauty. Right. So let's see. Thank you. Boards ke liye serious. What a good name that you have kept. Board ke liye serious. Okay. What is the poet's tone in the extract? She's thoughtful, she's authoritative, she's agitated, which means she's irritated by her situation, or she's insulting, she's argumentative, and select the option from the options. She was thoughtful and she was argumentative. Or what was she there? First option is 1 and 4. She was thoughtful and insulting. Both of them do not match. 3 and 5, she was agitated and argumentative. Yes, because she wanted to tell that, I want a person in my life who's going to be there and love me for the way I am and not for the way I look. 2 and 4, authoritative and insulting. And 1 and 5, thoughtful and argumentative. No, I believe that option B would be the answer. C, agitated and argumentative. Yeah, that is what I would say. That is what I said, right? 3 and 5. 3 and 5 is option B. Sorry. She was argumentative because she wanted to prove her point. Prove her point over physical beauty does not matter. For her, physical beauty was not prove her point that. She wanted to prove her point that physical beauty does not matter. Yeah, Abhinav Shukla, my constant student here, and all the constant students, Satyam Yadav, and all the people who have been there, thank you. So let's continue. What causes the young men to despair according to extract? What could be that one thing because of which the young man might despair, which means because of which they would feel bad? Being hopelessly in love, the uncertainty in love, and unsurety in the returns of their unaffection, because when the girl is going to change her appearance, there are chances that the person might stop loving the lady for the way she was looking, right? So that shows a despair here, the uncertainty of love, that how a person's love is transient. Transient means temporary, that how a person's love changes by the way a person looks. So I believe that looks are deceptive. One should not go after looks, but one should definitely go after the way the person is all about, the nature of the person, because ultimately when you're going to get old, when you're not going to have teeth, when you're not going to I have no idea, because I think the channel is different, that's why the watching could be low, but I have no issues from that. Yeah. So because I have all the lovely students here, so I am enjoying it. So being hopelessly in love, the uncertainty in love, the unsurety of the return of affections, the moment the person is going to change, maybe the feelings are also going to change. So that is why the girl wants a person, and Gregory wants a person in her life, the person who's going to have constant feelings for her, irrespective of the way she looks, irrespective of her hair locks, irrespective of the way she talks. The person should love her for the way she is from her inside, and not from the way she looks, not because of her appearance, because one more line you can add here is, because appearances are deceptive. Appearances are deceptive, which means they are, in Hindi we call it dhokebaz. They are deceptive. Identify the reason for the speaker's need to color her hair as per extract. To control what makes her look beautiful, to desire to be loved for her inner beauty, to need to change people's perception about beauty, or conviction that she is beautiful inside. Now all the options are very close to each other. So let's see which of the following answers could be the correct answer. Now it is your chance, students. You have to tell me which option is the correct one here. Do let me know which is the correct answer here. You have to tell me the reason. The need to change people's perception about beauty. Yeah, I'm getting. Anna, I'm not ignoring anybody. No, I'm not ignoring it. I cannot explain the entire summary abhi, but yes, I can do it. If you have any doubt, I'll just let you know later on. Okay. Summary of tree poem ko explain karna at this point of time is very difficult, because I have to complete the entire paper. But yes, you can see. I think there's a complete video on Poems on Foundation channel. In case if you're not able to understand this, I'll definitely clear it out in the next part or in the comment box. Just do let me know there. So what could be the answer for this question, students? The answer is D, her convention that she is beautiful inside. Yes, she wanted to break that, but the point that she wanted to emphasize was, her emphasis on the point was that she wanted people to think that she is beautiful inside. Irrespective of the way, her color locks change, it was not for people. It was for herself, that she wanted to prove people that, she was beautiful inside, and it was not because of her hair that she wanted to be loved. Now complete the analogy about the speakers here. If yellow is to blonde, then dash is to carrot. Carrot ka color kya hota hai? Red hota hai na? I think red would be the answer here. Yellow is to blonde, orange or red is to carrot. Either of the two will get you full marks. Now select the sentence in word which the word set is used in the similar manner as the line 2 of the extract. Now see what is the line 2. Line 2 and set such color there, which means you have to make such color there. So what could be the answer here? I want to set him up and get my work done this time. Do you have another set of books that I can read, because here it refers to a bunch here? The desert needs to set for 2 hours, which means to cool down. The set of the school play looked quite grand, which means the theater area. I believe the answer would be option C. The desert needs to set for 2 hours, because there the color needs to set. The color needs to cool down. The color needs to be there in the hair. So in the same way, the desert needs to set. Answer any 4 of the following in about 40 to 50 words. Now let's see. Each question separately, we'll not attend some questions, we'll see all the questions. Validate the given statement with reference to baby seagull's fear. Fear doesn't exist anywhere other than in one's mind. Yes. Now what points you can write in your answer? That baby seagull could not take his first flight as he was scared that his wings might not support him and he will fall because of his body weight. When he saw his family, yet the fear of falling down gripped his mind. The fear was there in his mind. It overpowered his senses, and because of that he was not able to fly. But when he was what we can say, when he was desperate for food, the mother came and gave the fish to him. The boy got very desperate, the baby seagull got very desperate, and it took a flight, and he was successful in doing that. Result, he was too scared to even try. These are just the hints. I would suggest everybody to write their answers and get the answers checked from all the respective teachers that you have. And in case you do not have any proper teacher, you can mention your answers in the comment box. I'll check the answers there. Yeah, these are just the hints. All the answers are in hints. These are just the hints. These are just the hints. Okay? Only hints. They are hints. That what all points you can mention in your answer. Now the second question is, explain why the poet personally holds the conviction that the world will end in fire. Because he has written the line that what I have tasted of fire, which means we can say that he has known the feelings. He was a victim of fear, expect of desire, because as he had said, I have known the feeling, which means he has understood, he has undertaken that feelings once in his life by his own admission from what I have tasted. You can use the line in the question itself. He has experienced the destructive effects in his life, which means of anger, okay, of hatred, not hatred because hatred will be fire, and what could be the other emotion? Impulsive action. Because of all these reasons, he had tasted, he has faced all these things. So that is why he believed that, I think the world will end in fire, because this is what he has experienced himself. This is what he has experienced himself. Okay. Next question. Walli's unique maiden bus ride experience could be possible. Maiden means the first. Her first ride experience could be possible because she belonged to a small village. Do you agree or not? Give 2 reasons. So in the case of agreement, we can have 2 points. In case of disagreement, we can have 2 points. A bus ride seemed like a fascinating means of recreation, which means a fascinating means to enjoy the adventure, which is not possible in cities and towns. She could travel alone safely because the villages are very compact, very small. Unfortunately, not recommended in large cities because the population is big and your chances of what is that? I am not getting the word. The chances of being lost there are high. पता नहीं, मुझे भी नहीं पता. There was only one bus that Walli observed several times. Cities have various buses, so that is why that could be very dangerous for her rather than being adventurous. So since the environments were safer here, okay, it was safer here for travel, that is why we agree that yes, that traveling in traveling in villages was possible. But what if we have to disagree? What if we have to say that no, Walli was a very ambitious child, she should not have done that, she was very young to do this. So what can we say? Fascinating for a ride or for an automobile can exist in children of Walli's age, even in big cities. These kind of things happen in big cities also. Traveling unnoticed is easier in larger cities than in small towns because people are not very known to each other. In villages, people know everybody. Cities would offer more opportunities for a bus ride due to availability and frequency of several buses on same route. So they say that variety is more here and variety is more. Here the variety is more and there the safety is more. So you can go with any answer, but you do not have to go against Walli. You have to not write anything against Walli. You just have to write the entire scenario about the buses. What has happened there? Okay. Thank you, Abhinav Shukla. Give one reason why Tale of Custard Dragon is more a fable than a ballad. Now, fable is a story that has a moral in the end. So they say, how can you say that it gives you a moral rather than a ballad? In ballad, we have a hero who does heroic deeds. So he says, why can we say that it is more of... One second. What has happened to me? So how can we say that it was more of a fable, which means it gave more of a lesson, that rather than, a hero of a person who has done just heroic deeds. Yes, definitely Custard the Dragon was a hero of the story, of the poem, but it gave a moral. Now how can we say that? So fable is a fictitious narrative with animals and birds, etc., and shares a strong message. So at the end of the poem we have a strong message. Yes, we had a strong message. Whereas ballad is a narrative where that one can be silly or heroic, where we're going to have a character who's going to be either very silly or is going to be very heroic. So it is more of a fable, because at the end we got a very strong message that one should be allowed to grow. One should not be criticized on every point. The way Ink, Blink and Mustard criticized Custard, that was very, very wrong. The tale of Custard Dragon includes animals, is surely fictitious and shares a meaningful message. So here it is a fable. Now what was the message here, students? That one should be given the environment to grow. Opportunity or the environment to grow. Now let's see the next part. How can we say that Natalia was continuously successful in maintaining an upper hand during her arguments with Lomov? Any one example? Because she was very loud, because at the end this man Lomov had a problem of palpitations, right? He palpitated various times. So that was because of the reason, because Natalia has put up a lot of pressure on him, and it actually pressurized him in such a way that he palpitated various questions. Suggest is to recommends. So dash is too important. You need to have options for that. If you have to just check the similarity between the first two in order to find the similarity between the next. So she was able to answer every query and present argument in defeating one presented by Lomov. All the things like argument about the ownership of Oxen Meadows. Natalia argued that it was a matter of principle and not of greed. She was said that I want the land because that is the amount, that is something that is attacking my principles. So I am not asking it out of greed. It is out of principles that this is my land, so definitely I am going to have it. She showed conviction. She showed surety and belief while arguing. She had an upper hand, definitely. An argument about dogs. Natalia argumented that her dog was cheaper and of better breed and could run faster. She never lost cool while presenting her arguments, unlike Lomov, who was like, I implore you, I ask you, Mr. Stepanovich. He was very, very mad at that point of time. He just wanted to prove his point, and for that he could go to any extent. But Natalia was calm. She was down to earth. She was very cool. She was very good in presenting her arguments in front of everyone. So now any 2 in 40 to 50 words, which means now we have 3 to 4 mark questions. Dr. Harriet knew his patient well as their owners. Now the doctor knew that Tricky was going to get ill soon, and so does he know that the lady whose name was Mrs. Pumphrey, she was also not a very good owner, and because of her recklessness, her dog might end up in a hospital very, very soon. So Dr. Harriet could understand the problem of the patient, like dogs, as he was observing him. He saw the Tricky in the market where he understood that, he has become hugely fat. He was trotting and he needed help. For the case of owners, he understood that Mrs. Pumphrey, who was well, and she never spoke any harsh or advising words on the seriously obese dog. Even though he had told the lady not to give him food, she was giving him Horlicks, she was giving him chocolates, brandy, wine and whatnot. So in that way he knew, it is not a practice paper, Dipanshi Jain, but since I am making you guys practice the level of questions that are going to be there with the help of the sample paper, that is why the session is given the name of a practice paper discussion and not sample paper discussion. Obese dog, knowing fully well that she was responsible for the condition. Even after knowing, she was, what can we say, she was, one word that we can use for this lady is, she was reckless, she was careless, and she was obsessed with her dog and she was so obsessed that she did not understand the wrong impact that was there on her animal. Now state one reason to the writer of the Midnight Visitor why the writer of the Midnight Visitor chose Ozable as a short and fat character. Because he wanted to create the image that images are deceptive. He wanted to show what? That appearances are deceptive. If he would have shown him as a James Bond or any other deceptive, if he would have shown him as James Bond or any other what are those detectives, then one could be able to, one could understand this point very easily, that Ozable is a detective. But the way he looked, short and fat, nobody had any idea that this man could be a detective. That is why that is why the person chose Ozable as a short and fat man. Characterized as short and fat, the writer wants to draw the attention and emphasis his wits and mental ability to handle any grave situation. Irrespective of the way the person looks, it is more about their dimag, it is more about their brain, the way it functions. Ozable was able to successfully plant a story of non-existent balcony and also made the agile, which means gullible, a person who can trust the other person very easily. He made the agile and smart Max believe it. It didn't require any physical body to do it. It did not demand him to have those, muscles and chest and back and triceps and biceps. No, he did not need anything of that. The only thing he needed was the brain. Thank you. The only thing he needed was the brain. The writer perhaps wanted to give a strong message that brain is what counts more than brawn. It is the brain, this is a very, very important line, you can use the answer, that brain is far important than the way you look. Muscle power or brain power is far more potent. The way your brain power is, it is more important, it is potent as compared to the way you are. It is more effective than any other type of power or any other muscle or any other arm set. Max was very smart. Max looked like Sunio, but from Doraemon, but he was not at all smart. He showed himself that he is a great detective, but in the end he lost his life. So images are deceptive. And thank you for all the 40 students who are constant with me. Okay, now we have the next question. Validate the importance of small fun learning tasks towards successful careers in context of Richard E. Bright. Now, how did the small activities of collecting stamps, collecting coins, collecting butterflies, the small tasks, how were these very important in the life of E. Bright, and how did it help him to become a great scientist in the chapter, The Making of a Scientist? Now he started the collection and breeding of butterflies as a fun activity because that was written in the Travels of Monarch X that you have to do the following. So he just started doing it as a fun activity. But initially he got curious about the gold spots and the secretion from them. Later on, because of his enthusiasm, because of his curiosity, he was able to develop a theory of cell structure and later DNA because of it. So all these fun activity resulted in the career as a renowned scientist, and he was very dedicated. He was curious, he was sharp-minded, he was bright, he was sharp-minded, he was bright, he was perseverant, which means he knew that, perseverant, because he knew that it is going to take a lot of hard work. He was hardworking. All these words could be used for him in the answer to tell that how the fun activities had helped him because of these. Ma'am, for me, English paper seems to be very difficult because of unseen passage. I have taken up unseen passage before you entered the class. So just, once the live is over, you can go back and just check the, unseen passage once again. Because in the, even after that, if you have any doubts, please mention it in the comment box. I'll help you out. Oh. Wait a second, what have I opened? Sorry. Now you have to answer in 100 to 120 words because now we are on finally the long question and almost to the last of the part. Now I have taken this question previously when I had taken double theme questions. This was the first question that I had taken up, and I already told you guys that this question is going to be there. Almost 20 minutes maximum to maximum, Sundaram Pandit. Yeah. Mijbil and Tiger both were looked after by humans. Assume that they both talked to each other. They met in a zoo and they were having a conversation. And the conversation can start like this. The tiger says, "Thank you for visiting me. I don't usually like visitors." So Mijbil says that I love visitors, I think, because Tiger was living in a very confined environment. Well, Mijbil used to live in a very, very open environment. He had a good owner. He had a good life. So now both of the people who had शाम हो जाएगी 100 क्वेश्चन कराते कराते. So now both of them had very conflicting views regarding everything. So let's see their perspective. So what you guys can do in such questions is, you cannot cram everything, you cannot ratify everything. So in this case, one thing that you guys can do is, the only possible way to help you out is that you can use the theme and the instances. The one thing that can help you out is use theme and instances from the story in order to have the correct answer. So Mitchell will be happy about his life with his owner as a pet, perhaps would be scared to be out in the wild because obviously he has never been in the wild and he was happy, he was living a very safe and secure life. He wouldn't know how to survive because he goes to plays, he goes to work, he enjoys his meals in the company of the owner, and the owner has given him a very good coexistent line, a coexistent way to enjoy his company. On the other hand, Tiger, he was unhappy in the captivity. He was unhappy in the cell he was kept in. He blamed humans for caging him and he wished that the people knew the meaning of peaceful coexistence because he would not have harmed anybody if he would have left in the jungle. But here he was living in a forest, he was living in a cell that was in the zoo, because of which he was having a very, very bad life. Longing to be free, which means he wished to be free, he wanted to be free, and in natural habitats perhaps wouldn't wish to be tamed as a pet. He didn't want to be trained as a pet, so he says that I am not a person, I am not an animal who would like to be trained by anybody as a pet, because I am not the animal to be controlled by humans, rather it is me who wants to control the human race. He gets disturbed by the human activity because here he is in the conflict with nature. What he is doing, he is in a conflict with nature. Now there was one question that came up in my comment box previously, that Nelson Mandela and Tiger in the Zoo were both the victims of humans. Yes, both of them were. Why? Because both of them were somehow bound by the narrow-mindedness of the human beings. Nelson Mandela also had the same problem. Here the tiger also had the same problem. Both of them were caged, one in a concrete cell, one in a jail. Both of them were not allowed to live their life properly. All these points can be used in the anticipated का मतलब होता है to expect. Anticipate is, it means to expect. Dakota Airplane and Lady Control Center. No, that is a completely different question. That is from the same chapter. Now, the question that I'm talking about is a question from two parts. That is, one is from Nelson Mandela and one is from Tiger in the Zoo. So, both of them were captive of the human beings. So, how were they captive? Because both of them were in jails. Both of them were in concrete cell or in some sort of jail. Both of them were the victims of narrow-mindedness of human beings. And both of them were not allowed to live their lives in a proper manner. They were robbed of their freedom. There was no coexistence, no peaceful coexistence. All these things can be used in the answer there. Not from weeping nor from grieving one will obtain the peace of mind. If you have to use this message in the given quote from Buddha's sermon, from Sermon in Banaras, to help the boy to cope with the loss of his ball, what in the ball poem, so how would you include this in your advice? Now this was also one question that I've taken previously in my double theme question series that is on Physics Wala Foundation channel. You guys can watch it out because there are various questions as well. So as I said in that point of time as well, that this question is there in the sample paper also, that is given by CBSE. So again we are having the question here. The learning referred from the quote of Buddha. So how can we take the inference of Buddha here? So we tell the loss of irreplaceable things. Here the ball was replaceable, but Buddha emphasized on the things that were irreplaceable, that brings grief and sorrow in the life of the person. The person learns to stay calm and understanding the perishable, which means ended, something that can be ended, something that can be ended, or the mortal nature of things, that it helps in living a life normally and forgetting loss, that life is a part and parcel of life. This is something that is going to happen, so nobody can control it. How does the boy help? How will this help the boy to cope with loss? The loss is an important part of life, and one person will learn from experience. He will adapt it and he has to move on. So this is that the boy has to know that once the ball is lost, there's no use of crying and cribbing over it. It's always better to let things go and start fresh and start new. Difficult for the boy to understand the notion, because the boy is very young to understand the depth of sermon at Buddha's word, because he's alone in his loss. There's nobody to help him. He has no one to explain, and he must learn from his own experience painstakingly, because once in the life the person has to face certain situations where there are not going to be people who are going to help you. There are going to be people who are going to see you from far away, but they're not going to come and help you. So that is how the boy will be able to understand the loss in his life, and it will take him time time to cope, but yes, he's learning it at a very young age. So definitely when he is going to go ahead, when he's going to, move ahead in his life, he'll understand this lesson in a better way. Alright, I hope things are clear till here. Just last two questions, I suppose, and then we are at the end of the session. Any one of the following again. Fiction characters prefer creating grey characters. Now what are grey characters? We have white characters that are good, that are noble, okay, that are heroic. And then we have the black characters. Now what do you mean by black characters? Black are the villains. Villain. They are the villains. They are cruel. They are callous, which means they are not callous and cruel, same ho gaya. They are reckless. They are stone-hearted. They do not care about anyone, right? Now we have grey characters that are somewhere between black and white. Grey, which means they have good and bad both. They have good and bad both. So this is going to be the introduction for your answer, that what are grey characters. They are the characters that have good and bad thing. You can ask it out in the comment box, because once the session is over, I do go with the comments. I read the comments once. The one I feel like I have to reply, because which are genuine doubts, I do reply to the comments. So you can tell me the answers there. I was not there in Udan because I was not there in PW by then. Okay, so introduction. Both characters in the story, they were neither black, which means Anil or Hari, both of them were neither black, which means they were neither negative, nor they were white, which means good. Having redeeming qualities as well as those need improvement in stories reveal that both personas as grey. Both had certain qualities where, like, when Anil said that, when Anil did not have any problem with Hari for taking 1 rupee a day, that was a grey thing. Like, if a person could have been there, he would have got angry or he would have ignored it. So he was a grey personality. We were not very clear about his viewpoint. On the same way, Hari, he had conflicting views. At one point of time, he wanted to rob the money and go away and just never come back. And on the other hand, he's standing in front of the moving train and waiting for the train to go and waiting that, yes, I'll go back to my, this man Anil's house and I'll live with him. So these are the grey characters, because they are not able to tell the real situation, because they're not able to really assess, and we are not able to understand that what their character is about. Whether they are good, whether they are bad, or whether they are a mix of both. Thief was artful, too smart for his age. He fooled his victim and by the police. But he wasn't ashamed in lying that this is a negative thing. And stealing, he made no efforts to confess that he had given to the temptation of stealing the notes. However, when, he took the money away, he had a change in his heart due to love, affection, and the Anil's trust that he has instilled in him. The character of Hari Singh is not a flat character, which means it is neither white, neither black, it is neither good, it is neither bad, it is a mix of both, right? Because both the emotions, the goodness and the bad side of it, have been shown in the poem. He very heartlessly robs him. The one person who has trusted him, he robs him out. And later on, when he had gone to the train station, he just stays there and he had helped him. In the same way, Horace Danby was also a grey personality, because he had gone there to rob, but when he got addicted, when he liked the girl there, when he was, head over heels on the beauty of that red lady, at that point of time, he just let the things go. On the other hand, if we see Anil, how was Anil a grey character? While we admire Anil for his qualities that were being helpful and simple and easily trusting, he forgave the thief. Imagine, he has taken his money, he had forgiven him. So this is a great thing. Like, it is neither good, neither bad. It is something that really confuses us, that why was this done? He never uttered a word despite knowledge of the theft, which means that we are not sure about him. These characters are very unpredictable. Okay. मैंने कुछ गलत लिख दिया. Unpredictable. These characters are very unpredictable. However, they are not perfect. They are casual about money. He ignored Hari Singh's pilfering, which means taking out money every day. The character of Hari Singh, not a flat character who is neither black nor white. So conclusion, that grey characters present a challenge to the readers. They are not able to understand that, the person is good or the person is bad. They allow a sense of unpredictability and present a moral challenge. Whether the situation should be correct, should be taken as correct or wrong, that has to be seen. Here, Hari Singh and Anil are created as grey characters. They were grey characters. They were the characters that were not given proper information. No issues, no issues. You can check the session later on, but it was nice being here. I know, because this is the English channel, Tanmay, so that is why I have to speak in English. Never mind, the same, I think probably another sample paper discussion will be there on the PW Foundation channel as well. So I hope things will be clear there. Okay, now honor among thieves is considered as a popular code, which means you cannot surpass that. You cannot change the honor among thieves, which means you are a thief, I am a thief, so we both need to have that unsaid agreement that yes, you are my brother and I am your brother, and we are not going to disclose anything to anyone. No issues, no issues. I have practice of speaking English anyways. Thank you. Okay. Now examine a question of trust as a story woven around this code. How is honor of thief broken in this particular chapter? So honor among thieves, we'll explain first what do you mean by honor among thief. It is believed that thieves never double cross each other, which means thieves do not lie to each other. They commit crimes against each other. Now when it will just take 5 minutes more, I probably think. Now they commit crimes against each other. That is something wrong. That should not happen. They would be inclined to help rather than betray each other. Now what happens is the code among thieves says that, whenever a thief is in a problem, the other thief has to help him out. Right? But here that code was broken. The protagonist, which means the main character, who was Horace Danby, was careful and meticulous. He was precise in the work that he has done. He was very accurate in the work he has done. In his theft, which he conducted every year, he didn't anticipate, which means he didn't expect the role of a lady. He believed that everything will be normal as it had been, but he did not expect this to happen. Now the lady in red, he made a fool of him. In spite of being a thief herself, she did not follow the code of honor. She broke the code of honor and she robbed the other thief by, giving him a very wrong image and creating a very surpassing image of herself. This resulted in Horace Danby going to prison for the first time in his life, and therefore he felt betrayed. He felt that he has been cheated on. He felt that this is something wrong. The code of conduct between the thief, that is the honor among thieves, has been broken, which means one thief has not helped the other one. Okay, students, I hope things are clear to you. With this, we are at the end of the session, and we are done and dusted with the sample paper discussion that was done. Thank you. So just do let me know, because you're almost 30 students, so I can answer every doubt right now. So in case if you guys have any doubt, please feel free to ask, because at 9:30 we'll be ending the session. Thank you everyone for being a patient listener and listening to all the things that I've taught. Sundaram Pandit says, Sukoon, finally she has stopped talking. Anyways, just let me know if you guys have any doubt. I'll answer you. In case if you do not have any doubt, then you guys are free. You guys are free to leave, because this is the time I'm going to only answer the doubts, and at 9:30 I'll be ending the session. If you do not know basic grammar, then I think at this point of time you just need to know the main rules. Because in case if you go for the learning the rules, then I think in paper you will get really confused. So just learn the basic rules. You can listen to the one shot on PW Foundation channel. Yeah, we'll take that. That's also on the table. Thank you everyone for all the compliments. It feels good, pata hai. Whenever I have conversation with you guys now, I feel really good. I have no idea when my next session is. Surely I am trying to get it for 12th as well. I hope I'll be able to do it. Wow, when the session was going on, I had 30 students. At this point of time, I am having 39 students. Is everybody here to bid me a goodbye? Doubts? Does anybody have any doubt? Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Yes, okay. Now in this particular line, as you have asked it, that courage is not the absence of fear. If you're courageous, that does not mean you're not scared of anything. It means that you have fear of something, but your willingness to overcome that fear is such that you have a power to overcome it. So courage is not that you're not scared of anything. No, that is not courage. You have something that you fear, but still you know that fearing it won't help you out. So you have the courage, you have the power to overcome it and do something good. Is called courage. Yeah, I try to bring revisions regularly. Good night everyone who were there. Zarur. We'll give you all the batches in free. Wow. Okay, great. Nice option, nice suggestion. Cannot happen. Anyways. Good night everyone. I hope 45 students. Kya ho gaya bhai? I am from Delhi. Alright then. Let's end the session now. I hope all the doubts are cleared and everybody has understood the paper. Keep practicing, keep learning, and all the stories carry. Keep revising all the stories and see the questions in the sample papers. Okay, an excellent doctor is the one who has the ability to diagnose the symptoms. In this question, we can talk about Dr. Harriet, because when he saw what was the dog's name? Tricky. When he saw Tricky for the first time, he was able to see that Tricky was going to get ill very soon. So he was able to understand his problems, and that way we can say that good doctor is the one who is able to understand the symptoms even before things happen. Yeah, practice paper is finally difficult than the final paper. मेरा नाम निहारिका है. I'm Niharika. Alright then, let's meet at some other day in some other session. Then let's end the session now on a very good note. All the very best to everyone, as I would like to say. All the best. Keep learning. Keep all the best. All the best, and keep learning and keep practicing. Do your best, give your best, do your best and give your best, because this has to be your final shot. Start practicing and we'll meet in the next class.